The air in fall grows cold outside. The lies of fall will secrets hide. The dawn of fall has long since died. The eve of fall will now preside.
We're live.
We're live. Hello and welcome. Hi, everybody. I am Jesse Jerdak, and thank you for joining me and four of my very dear friends and Beadle and Grimms for a very special Grimmtober presentation of my adventure, The Eve of Fall. I should talk spooky all night. I'm going to talk spooky. Tonight, we join four talented adventurers, a bit down on their luck in the rowdy tavern in the crossroads town of Bavesk. Omega, why don't you introduce yourself with your pronouns, if you don't mind?
Hi. My name's Omega Jones, also known as the Critical Bard. My pronouns are he and they. Is that it? You want something else?
That's good enough for now. We'll get you a good, cool, long one later.
Okay.
Okay. Diana, tell me about you real fast.
Hi, everybody. I am Diana DiMicco. My pronouns are she, her.
Thank you, Diana. Paul.
I'm Paul Shapiro, he, him, and that's it. That's
okay. Last but not least.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kate Osborne. My pronouns are she, they.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And with that, I think we're going to jump right in. Are you guys ready to do scary stuff?
Maybe.
Will you hold my hand?
I wish I could. You guys are distractingly cool looking, so I'm going to do my best to be intimidating and cool while looking at intimidatingly beautiful people. This is a heck of a thing.
You're down.
Oh, no,
Here.
yes,
I'm
okay.
trying, Katie. I am.
Okay,
I'm really trying.
It. I appreciate it.
Aw, they're friends. Our adventure begins, like so many others, in a local tavern, or a rowdy local tavern. You find yourself in the Brass Cask. The bartender is kind of the stout, swarthy, a little handsome dwarven fella named Scosset Ambertanks. Your party finds themselves a bit down on their luck. Specialists, magicians, performers, warriors. But Bavesk is used to a more crude type of adventurer. Your refinement, in this case, has been a bit of a weakness. Your resources have begun to run short, and the tab is ever growing at the Brass Cask Inn. Scosset Ambertanks, the dwarven man behind the counter, greets you, and he looks at cool. He looks at you, Mungo. He's like, "All right, Shorty. What will you have tonight?"
I'll have a fine wine if you have one.
Oh, fine wine, sure. Yeah, this is a lovely establishment. You look around. This is not a lovely establishment. It is roughshod. There are broken floorboards, beer and piss stains everywhere. There are mercenaries of every stripe and every origin, carousing and yelling and fighting and gambling and drinking and raucousing in the background. He's like, "Sure, yeah, let me get you me finest port, of course, I've got." And he pours you a beer.
I decide not to argue. I look a little disappointed, but nonetheless, I take the drink.
Right. With a drink comes a joke. Tell me if you've had this one, all right? Like a gnome and a couple of humans and a tiefling walk into a bar and they don't have any money. And then their tab comes due and they get kicked out on the street and they end up in jail.
That's I don't get it.
Yeah, it's all right. Let it come to you. Mungo, what does the bartender see when he looks at you?
Sure. So Mungo Dark Eye is a halfling, getting on in years, a little gray about the whiskers, with a fine hat on his head, purple with a feather in it. He, while at first glance he looks like the usual sort of cheerful, halfling. In his eyes, in the darkness of his eyes, you can see sort of a black abyss of pain and sorrow.
Mm.
But that's fleeting and is quickly covered by a frothy beer.
Yeah. I see a fleeting glimpse of pain and sorrow in your eyes. Speaking of which, you've got some interesting looking friends over here. The gentleman with the what are Mungo's pronouns?
Oh, he and him also.
Thank you. You're a friend with the death mask. I'm hoping that's a mask. Who's that?
Oh, he's my. I'm gonna start talking in the same accent if I'm not careful. He's my traveling companion, Barnaby. Barnaby, come up, have a drink. Meet the fine bartender.
Don't be a stranger.
What?
We were just conversing over a fine wine. Can I get you something to drink, Barnaby?
Oh, is this a spoken word competition?
Sure.
Then I shall have the ale upon my thigh. I am not a poet by trade, but I'm sure it works. Ale, please.
Sure. And thank you for asking. One ale. Do you want me to? I can't quite reach over to the bar, but you can put it on your own thigh. And what does Scossett see when he looks at Barnaby?
A very thin, lithe, if you will, individual wearing mostly black. He has a very black, ornate vest with a simple black Tavernist shirt underneath. Maybe it's a dress shirt. Who knows? It's not really perfect. Some darker pants and some boots with a slight heel, a sensible heel. He has a nice dark crimson cravat around his neck. His skin, when you do see the pieces of it upon his face and on his hands, though has a richer brown skin tone, there's still a paleness to it, almost grayish. Don't want to really say purple, but it's like it's between those colors, between those two. More importantly, they have these bright, unhuman eyes beneath a somewhat probably very realistic skull upon their face. They have fashioned into a upward mask that covers everything up from their upper lip up to their head with a nice little top hat on top. He also has a bunch of rings, these ones specifically. And to his side is, well, he's not using it right now, but he has a nice long cane with a wooden skull on top. And Mungo would know that it can twist and reveal something underneath if need be. But he kind of flourishes and says, "Thank you for the ale."
Yeah, of course, my pleasure. It's my finest stuff from Mandalorian. It's my homeland. Those are some fine rings you got there. It's good to know that you got some jewelry in case this dry streak continues.
I stole them.
Great. I don't care about that. That's good to know. What about your friend with the horns over there? Is that?
Are you saying they're a bad thing? Don't toss someone by their horns. Those are quite normal.
No, they're lovely. Frankly, I find them quite fetching. I mean, don't be telling me wife, but yeah, no, we haven't made a proper acquaintance. Would you mind putting in a good word? Maybe?
Daria!
Okay.
Oh. Yes, darling.
This individual wants to know about your horns.
Well, what would you like to know?
Really, I just wanted to make your acquaintance. I'm Scoss at Ember. Thanks. It's nice to meet you. Can I get you a drink?
Daria is going to kind of lean into the person on the other side of her, because I imagine that Barnabas is on her left. She'll lean to whoever's on the right, put her arm around them and kind of lean in and go, "What are we drinking tonight, dear?"
Oh, and you see kind of a nervous looking, very burly, full on orcish woman. She's got these really impressive tusks, and she seems a little twitter-pated at the moment. She's like, "Oh, I was going to just have some of the ale, but I mean, they have some really good whiskey if you're interested."
I'd love to share a shot with you. I mean, if that's something that you're open to, barkeep, how about some whiskey over here for being my new friend?
Sure, all right. He looks a little disappointed. Right, 2 fire whiskeys. Here you go.
Well, one for you too, of course, Gossett.
Oh no, I don't be drinking my own stock. At least not when-
Please.
make a persuasion check. First roll of the night. Come on, what do you got, nerd?
Haven't played this character in all of 2 days. 19.
19. He slaps another shot glass a little bigger on the countertop and gives you each a pour, and then like a heavy pour for himself. He's like, "All right, to your health, to your long life, and to your pocketbook getting fatter. Cheers."
To new friends, and she'll throw down the shot.
All right. And the kind of burly, kind of timid looking orcish woman is like, just takes a little sip and kind of smirks. Spicy. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Who's your friend? The well-read looking one over there in the corner?
Well, that's awfully assumptive of you.
Well,
I mean, she is well read, don't get me wrong, but Charlotte is so much more than her intellect.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Charlotte, come tell Scorsese how smart you are.
Oh, all right. That seems a bit pretentious, but all right. Hello, I'm Charlotte Cambridge. Nice to
You can
meet
do better
you.
than that.
I'm very smart.
Perform, my child. Oh, you're not my. You're. Never mind.
No, I know what you meant. It's fine, Barnaby. Yes. Well, I'm Charlotte. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm very pleased to be here in your. And she looks down at specifically the piss stains, as Jesse so descriptively described, and says, "It's a pleasure to be here. So, thank you so much."
Oh, sure. Can I get you something to drink?
Oh, do you have tea? Just tea. You don't have to.
Charlotte,
put
you always, this is so
anything. I mean,
embarrassing
you-
every time.
Well, I was going to ask for a glass of milk, but I thought tea seemed more grown up.
Sure. Yeah.
If you don't have tea, if you have some
mean,
grave
it's
dust back
quite all
there,
right.
it's quite earthy, refreshing. You
I'll-
know.
Yes, well, I'll take the whiskey. I mean, it's fine.
Oh.
I don't mind a tipple every now and then, but
Sure.
you know, I just would prefer the tea if that's all right. But if it's too much
Well,
trouble,
no, I've got
certainly
you.
don't
I'll
mind.
be right back.
All right. Now I feel I've inconvenienced him.
No,
so-
No, it's his job. It's fine.
Right,
Oh,
right.
all right.
Customer's always right.
All right. Well, I could brew my own if you like. I just need the hot water. All right.
all right, I can make water hot. I've got
Oh.
fire. I've got water.
Wonderful.
I'll be right back. And he kind of glares at you, Mungo. Money soon.
You don't worry about us. We're coming back into things. Don't you worry.
Around that time, you see 2 full-on ogres in like heavy plate, and a tough-looking lady of human descent, and another dwarven woman with a big, sweet black beard, and they're kind of raucously like entering, and they slap a big leather pouch of gold on the table. They're just covered in blood. There's like a piece of a horn on one of them, like whatever they killed had horns, and they're just kind of laughing, and it's clear that they are just getting back from a very dangerous and very gross adventure. And you realize it's been some time since you've found gainful employment.
Oh, Mungo dear, what is this about money?
Well, I mean, it's been a while since we've had one of those jobs, right? So it's been a while since we've had one of those, and well, you know, the drinks are they're adding up. So
Were we supposed to pay Scosset this whole time?
He's been mentioning it, yes, that we were supposed to, and I keep saying that we absolutely will. It's just a matter of, you know, finding the right occupation. I mean, look at those ogres.
Well, I suggested that we all be performers, but 3 of you said no.
Well, what would we perform?
I don't know, my backup.
It's just, Barnaby, you know that I get terrible stage fright, and I just feel like you're far more suited to the stage than.
Listen,
the
all
rest
you
of
had
us.
to do was get in the box, and I saw it in half. It's
Yes.
not that hard.
Yes, well, after the last time, I don't think we can ever go back to that town. So.
And Barnaby, the reality is that it just no one here has offered to pay us for any of that. So really, at a certain point, we need to just go where the money is. We're
Because we're in a land of plebeians.
Yes, well, perhaps we could pay
yes.
people to watch Barnaby perform. Maybe then they would show up.
If we're counting private performances, I have many avenues that I could tap for payment.
Oh yes, well,
But just you, I'm afraid. I don't think the rest of us really.
Well, I am the one that I am most concerned about. You understand?
Around that time, Scosset comes back. He's got a giant beer maul full of like slightly milky, boiling hot water. He's like, for you, what was your name again?
Oh, Charlotte.
And what does Scosset see when he looks at Charlotte?
Oh, so when Scosset looks at Charlotte, he probably would do at least 1 or 2 double takes, because Charlotte is very well dressed, but her clothes have seen some age. They're very well taken care of, very meticulously sort of sewn and mended, but you can tell that they've been on the road for some time. However, Charlotte doesn't seem to walk so much as float. And if you were looking closely, it would almost look like little whiffs of black smoke or shadows were sort of floating out from like under her long silk skirts. And she's wearing this beautiful sort of dark purple dress with a shirt under it that happens to look exactly like this one. And she's wearing very confusing headgear for someone who is otherwise so well dressed. She has big goggles, and there's like gears and a couple of like, you know, rings and stuff sort of poking off of it. And you get the feeling that this is a woman who is extremely well educated, but sort of like bought one nice dress one time because that was the thing they told her to buy, and then she was just good for like the rest of the time.
Okay. He's like, well, that's a hell of a hat you got there, Miss Charlotte. It's a pleasure to officially make your acquaintance.
Oh, it's
but,
lovely to meet you as well. Thank you so much.
of course. Did you need something to put in your hot water?
Oh no, I've brought it myself. And she sort of like reaches just sort of like behind, and you're not really sure where it's come from. It's sort of like Captain America's shield hooks. You never really know where they are. And she just sort of pulls out like some tea accoutrement that is surprisingly mechanical looking. And she puts the little tea bag in the cup, and like a little spoon that has like little clockwork gears at the end of it. And she'll sort of wiggle her fingers a little bit, and the spoon will just sort of start spinning around in the teacup on its own. And she'll sort of smile at it and say, good boy. Thank you. But no, thank you so much. I'm terribly sorry for the trouble. But
That's
I
no trouble
really
at
do
all.
appreciate it.
You haven't punched anybody yet. You're
Are we
easier.
allowed?
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never punched anyone. I've always.
Oh, you
kind
should
of
punch
gone-
that guy. And you see a half-orc gentleman with like this big gray beard. He's like, yeah, bring it on. And he's like, careful, he will punch you back though. But it's funny.
Oh no, thank you. Well, thank you so much for the offer, though. I do appreciate it.
Sure, yeah, it's customary. Well, and he kind of glares at Mungo. Money. And he kind of wanders off. Around that time, you hear the tavern door kind of gingerly shut, and you turn around and you see a semi-well-dressed, very kind of sheepish-looking woman, with dark hair and brown eyes, holding what is clearly a big pouch of gold very awkwardly. And you can see that she's kind of peering around the tavern, looking at all these kind of rough and rowdy characters.
Could I rush to greet her?
Yeah, absolutely you can.
And just sort of in typical Zarya fashion, just sort of shepherd her over towards the bar to introduce her to Scosset and my wonderful comrades. And
Oh, sure. She's like, oh, hello. I'm Evelyn, Evelyn Descent. And you are?
I'm Daria Volcanus, dear. Evelyn, it's such a beautiful name. What brings you to the tavern tonight, Evelyn? I can't say that you look like you belong here.
You are correct. It is my understanding that this establishment is a place where one can purchases the services of people that are more well equipped for martial and physical work than I.
Oh, Evelyn.
That was funny. That was funny.
You are so lucky.
Did I say something funny?
Oh, well, you happen to catch my eye. I'm very perceptive, you see, and you just happen to be among the greatest adventuring troops that's ever seen this town. Please meet my friends. This is Barnabas.
And I will flourish, and there's going to be like some sparkles and glitter in the air as I bow and kind of wink.
And Charlotte.
Charlotte is literally focused on fixing her glasses and just kind of goes, "Oh, yes, hello."
And of course, our fearless leader, Mungo.
Hello, Mungo.
Indeed, pleasure to meet you. And I'll sort of shine my dark eye at her so she can see the bleakness and darkness.
As you can see, we're well equipped to handle whatever it is that you need help with.
Well, that's wonderful. And a round of drinks for my new friends. And she puts way too much gold on the counter, like way too much, like ridiculous.
Yay! More drinks! You all know that Barnaby absolutely does not imbibe in anything, does not eat, does not drink. So this is all performance.
Give me a deception check, Barnaby.
Great. 11.
She's like, okay. You can tell she's you're perceptive enough to tell that she probably isn't buying it, but also doesn't want to offend anyone.
I have a very low perception. Probably not.
Oh no.
No, absolutely not.
When Evelyn puts all that money onto the counter, I'm gonna, slide some of it back to her and say, a word of advice. In a situation like this, it's best to keep the money close and only show it when needed. So
that's right, Evelyn. I mean, that's not nearly enough for a round of drinks. I mean, surely you want to make sure that you pay the bartender accordingly.
Daria.
She slides the coinage back across, and Scott is like, that will cover a little bit of your tab. So, it's a good friend you've made yourself there. Maybe you should talk to her some more.
Indeed. So, Evelyn. So, while we wait for the drinks, tell us about yourself and what brings you here. What service is it that you require?
Well, I have exciting news. I have saved up enough to purchase my own investment property. I come from humble means, meager at best, but I have purchased property and I plan on renovating it and then either living in it and starting a family or selling it at a profit. But regardless, what they said about me, I'm not just some dirty, scruffy orphan girl. No. I am going to be a self-made businesswoman. And so this is the beginning of my journey towards financial independence from anyone else. Minor problem. The property I purchased, the former residents refuse to leave. And I have a crew of craftsmen showing up in 2 days, and they are not fighters, they're craftsmen. And I need someone to help me either escort the current residents off the property or to really encourage them off the property. I don't actually want them to get hurt if we can avoid it, But
No, I was going to suggest you just stab him. If you want to hurt him, then what are we
Stabbing
going to
does
do?
work most of the time.
No, but see, you come to the right people. You've come because you see the others here. They would bash heads and bash and destroy the whole place, the people and the house. You don't want that. We are the only people here who can practice the art of persuasion,
Yeah, that's true.
the art of negotiation, and we can ensure that these people will be out in plenty of time with no damage to them
That's-
or to.
What? A caveat on the no damage. We can't really. Let's not promise things until we see the situation. That's a good idea.
of course, well, I'm not going to lie. The house is a little run down right now. It's a little lovely farmhouse. It's got 2 stories. I feel that it's got good bones.
Don't worry, I'm a little run down and got good bones too, so we'll be fine.
You can see his bones.
That's funny. Is that part of your? So
No, this is my previous director.
previous.
hmm
That sounds like a fascinating story. And if I had a few more moments, I would ask you all about it.
I can give you a few more moments if you want them.
It's a wonderful story. You really should hear it.
Fine. Would you say you would be interested in being in my employ?
If I may,
Of course.
I definitely speak for my compatriots when I say that I do believe we are interested. But when you say tenants, well, as you look around the bar, there's all sorts of people living in this town. What sort of tenants were previously in the building? Are we talking very large, hard to fight creatures, or perhaps something small and fuzzy and adorable that we can just sort of make friends with along the way?
That is a very good question. So I purchased the property sight unseen. It's a little farmstead. It's about a day's journey outside of town. And I wondered when I bought it at auction, why everyone started laughing. And I think it's because the former residents are squatters. They don't have legal right to stay there. And I purchased it with most of my funds. And if the build crew shows up in 2 days and they're chased away, I'm going to lose my investment on the repair crew, and then I will be upside down. So I have to get these residents somewhere. They can come here to Bavesk. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I just need the property vacant. And like I said, I purchased it sight unseen.
Actually speaking, I think Daria and Mungo potentially will just kind of notice the skull glow ever so slightly. As I'm intending to. Well, actually speaking, I just want to know if she's on the up and up, if she's like hiding something from us. Like it can't just be squatters and she can't get them out. Like what's going on?
Okay. Are you wanting to make a like an insight check?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Specifically, I was putting guidance on myself.
Yeah, hell yeah, you are.
Hmm.
Was it your director putting guidance on you?
Yes, actually, it's exactly what's going on. Okay, wait, plus a D4. Great, plus a D6 because I have knowledge from a past life, which is my mentor.
Mhm.
Makes that an 18.
18. You get the vibe, whether it be through nerves or something more practiced, that there's more to this story.
Barnaby is a very eccentric character, for lack of a better word, and they just kind of like cock their head and they say, I get it. All performers don't want to reveal all their secrets. I'm pretty much the same. But if you want us to potentially die for you, you should tell us what you're hiding.
Daria will lean in to try and assist with that intimidation.
Yeah, give me some intimidation. Let's do it. Give me at advantage.
22.
Ooh.
She looks pants shittingly frightened. Sincerely, like her practiced demeanor breaks for a moment, and you see before you a little bit of almost animalistic terror.
You don't want to be my next leading lady, do you? I would advise you tell us the truth.
Okay, I'd hoped to tell you this on the road. but I suppose it's best if we are forthcoming. The former residents seem to have expired some time ago, but they still wanted the property.
That's it?
Well, yes, that's all. That's very frightening to me.
I don't think it's the same situation that you have going on.
Oh,
Artemis. I think
okay,
it's
that's
a
fair.
little more complicated, it sounds like.
Probably. I don't do complications.
You don't do okay. Well, if you don't mind, if you all right.
Oh no, he's not saying that we won't take the job. We absolutely are going to take the job. But it's just we just need to know the information. Dead people.
We'll require a 70% down payment up front for this kind of work, unfortunately. It's the going rate. 71.
I'm going to use the intimidation roll as part of this exchange. And she's like, 71%? All right. We didn't agree to a cost yet. What I would do.
Well, I assumed it's why you brought this gold. So that's the cost.
I was hoping to give you some of it.
Well, unfortunately, I mean, you know how hard it is to get adventurers these days, much less find some that are willing to go and clear a property for you far away from the cozy warmth of our beloved tavern. And you've made it sound so dangerous after all that I really think that the entirety of what's in that sack is truly appropriate for this kind of work.
I mean, we are the only ones here who are experts in dealing with undead.
Okay.
It is what we know. It is what we have
our bread and
studied all
butter.
these years. Exactly.
All right. 400 gold pieces, 75% up front. Deal?
You drive a hard bargain, Evelyn, but
She doesn't.
there's something about you that I just love.
Really? And you see a visible blush, like, oh.
I'll hold out my hand for the coin.
And she takes out 100 gold pieces and puts it in a pocket. And she hands you a pouch full with 300 gold pieces in it. She's like, I was really hoping to offer this at the end, but you do seem.
You've done the right thing. You've done the right thing. This is the only way to perform business in a situation like this.
Evelyn, if I may, just very briefly, do you mind if I and my compatriots just step off to the side very briefly, just a quick matter of business?
Of course, I would like to speak to the proprietor.
Oh, wonderful.
So
ask him for hot water. It's quite good, actually.
hot water. Okay.
Friends.
Could I really quickly, just turning around, I'll kind of just like lightly grip Evelyn by the wrist as she's sort of turning away and just says, I'll miss you, and then leaves the little bar to go talk.
Bright red, absolutely bright red.
Yes.
I don't want to be the naysayer of the group.
Then don't.
Well, it's just, Daria, do we feel if we're taking a sort of self-reflective inventory of our skills and assets and previous experience that we're in any way qualified to deal with this thing?
We were able to lie our way into 75% of the fee up front. Surely that means that all of the lies we've told previously to get work have worked out in our benefit.
Right, but I'm just thinking when you've got something like this requires a great deal of specificity and perhaps a training certificate or to
the undead are mostly dead. They're already almost
halfway there.
Right.
They're almost all the way dead.
It's the mostly, Mungo. The mostly is what worries me because
Are
we
you
both know
really
that
scared of a little bit of death and decay?
Well, I'm mostly just scared that it's, catching, and I would like to make it out alive. And I mean, some of you have one foot in the grave already, so maybe you'll blend right in. But I just don't want anyone to get hurt is my concern.
But Charlotte, just think of what we'll learn from these undead. Just think of the stories they must have.
Think of the money that could be buried on that property.
Think of the performance that we could give for these individuals.
All right. I mean, I'm like I said, I will go along with you. Lord knows I've been along a few adventures so far. But just can we please just make a promise to be careful? That's all.
When we die, you can go ahead and say I told you so. All right.
I'm going to make a shamefully big show of it. I want
I
you to
hope
know.
you do.
I'm
I
going-
wish you'd
I'm-
make more scenes. They're
I'll
so
sing this
entertaining.
song, Daria. I'm going to sing this song. You know, I'm going to do it. So if you die, I'm going to do the song. And Barnaby,
I hope so. I
know
love
how he
that
gets.
song.
So, all right. I'm just saying.
That's fair. That's fair.
All
But
right.
we're also like not gonna die. It's just not gonna happen. We're
No,
pretty
no.
capable.
All right. Yes, think positive thoughts. That usually stops.
I don't
the
know if that's
undead.
necessarily positivity or realism, but you know, if that's the coins, the two different sides, it works.
You're
Just make
right.
sure Barnabas goes in first.
All right.
Exactly. Wait, what?
Yep.
It's a solid strategy. My love, you're already dead. It's not going to hurt you.
You know, I could argue with that, but I am quite lazy at this moment, so I'm not going to. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Well, as long as the rest of you feel confident, I mean, you know, what skills I bring to the table. So I'm just a bit nervous, but all right.
Around that time, you see Scossett lean over to the bar and like stage whisper, like loudly whisper to Evelyn, "Are you fucking sure?" And she's like, and she just gives him a stern nod and slides over a few more coin and saunters over to a table in the corner.
We should Daria, we should continue to talk to Evelyn and make sure that things are all right there. And I'm gonna walk up to to Scossett and I'm gonna say, don't you worry now. We're gonna get all of this paid up. But what were you saying with our client there, Evelyn?
She covered your tab, and she, as well as she upgraded your rooms for the night, and you got dinner coming.
I love her. I love her.
I would have walked over to where Evelyn is sitting and sort of just like with a really heavy lean sat down at the table across from her.
Mhm.
And I'd like to cast thaumaturgy when I sit down to make sort of the flames on the candles that are sitting on the table sort of flicker a little bit and cast a really nice ambiance light sort of across my features and you know, get that good mood lighting going.
She's like, "I'm glad you joined me. I've covered your rooms, and I've got the best food in the establishment coming. I don't know what that constitutes, but I would love to hear about Barnaby's former producer. And I think we're going to work together, aren't we?"
I think so too, Evelyn. But answer a question for me.
Anything.
You're working very hard to be a self-made woman. I see that and I appreciate that. It's a beautiful trade. Why do you need us for this?
Well, I'm young, and you can tell she is young. Maybe mid-20s at the latest. And the notion of ushering ghosts and spirits off of the property. This is my way of doing it on my own. I made this money, and I'm going to hire professionals to remove them.
Though I appreciate the employment, and of course, the true payment here was making your acquaintance. And I'll kind of lean across the table and just take her hands in mine.
She says, "I love this city."
You could do this yourself. You have the drive and the ability. Just think about it. We'd love to bring you on our next adventure.
Oh, I've never thought of being an adventurer. I've always thought of myself as I don't know. I like numbers, and I like working hard and proving people wrong.
You're
know-
too strong and beautiful to waste yourself at something so simple.
I could do something, I suppose.
Just
Can-
think about it for me.
Of course. Well, I would love to escort you at least to the property tomorrow, if that's okay.
It's a date. Barnabas,
As this conversation was happening, Barnaby and Mungo has gone over to Scosset. Barnaby just kind of like swivels in their chair and stares at Charlotte. No. What's really going on? Are you really scared of these ill-advised residents who refuse to leave, or is there something more?
Well, I suppose, Barnaby, that it's sort of a combination of things. I mean, I just know that this sort of thing can often become far more dangerous than you anticipate. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is like I like Mungo. I do, but I feel like sometimes his propensity for promising payment when there is no payment to give is getting us into scraps, and I'm worried about it. I'm worried about him. I'm worried about us, and I mean, I'm a tinkerer, Barnaby. Like I don't.
Now, my friend, you're much more than that. First of all, every performance has a level of thrill. You can't get by playing the sound of music all the time.
I know, but even the best production of The Sound of Music has, someone in the background making all the, that's what I do. I'm in the background.
But you are our fearless stage manager, Charlotte.
No,
you keep the numbers in check and you keep us on our feet. Mungo is the producer who can and will be sacrificed if need be.
I don't know if I like that plan either, Barnaby.
I'm just saying that you don't have to worry. Dear old Barnabas von Strauss will protect you.
I appreciate that, Barnaby, but could we perhaps extend that to the rest of the group? It seems unfair. I mean, you know how I feel about most actors, Barnaby, but you get an exception because I find you delightful. But it doesn't mean that I want the others to wind up dead.
They won't die, I promise. I'm just saying that if things go sideways, you have a friend in me.
I do appreciate that, Barnaby. It's quite nice. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good. What, Daria?
Oh, we need your storytelling, my love.
Oh, of course. And I'll just like flourish and wink at Charlotte. Remember what I said? And I will kind of go over and say, let me tell you of the tale of the Shakespearean version of the Three Little Pigs called Hamlet. And he'll just start to ramble on and talk while
Having passed Evelyn off, Daria would take the coin that she took from Evelyn and go over to where Mungo is talking to Scosset and just sort of put down the little bag of coin and slide it over to Mungo. You'll take care of this, won't you?
Oh, indeed I will. Indeed I will. I'll scoop that.
That's not what I mean, Mungo.
Oh, we're all good. She paid our tab. We're set.
Because I will kill you. I love you, but I will kill you.
I know you will. I know you will. I know you all will. But
I won't kill you. I will just make it very, very painful for you to be alive. But
and then
I'm
she'll
not going
watch
to
while
kill you.
I kill you.
So rather than any of that, we are set. We have the money. We have the job. All we have to do is evict some corpses and we're set. We're back on the road. Barnaby can put on his show. We can eat more than one meal a day. We'll be set. So let's just get a good night's sleep. Let's have her show us where this is. And then you do what you need to do to get rid of these corpses.
What do you mean you?
I'm helping. I'm helping.
Are you? Because this sounds very passive on your part.
Oh, no. Someone has to lead. And that's
and Ophelia drowns in the lake, but she's actually a Triton, so she didn't really drown. He just continues in the background.
Very good. So let's eat up, let's rest well, and then let's hope that Charlotte can figure out what it is that we have to do.
And from behind Barnaby, Charlotte casts prestidigitation, and a floating skull appears in front of him, and she's doing the special effects for Hamlet in the background while all of this is happening.
I'll help with some thaumaturgy to do like thunder sound effects and things like that too.
And they all lived happily ever after, except for the 3 pigs known as Hamlet. They died. The end.
She looks genuinely touched, I think. Give me a performance check with advantage.
Okay. Okay. Oh crap. 25.
Oh,
Double 25s actually.
Yeah, she looks enraptured and like touched. There's like just a tear running down her cheek. Bravo. My goodness. I hope that you I feel like you may be too talented for the work I have.
No, I'm never too talented. I will dull my talents for this money.
Okay. And you're Daria, you're over with Mungo at the moment, right? Or you're here now?
I'm over at the bar. I went to go rejoin Mungo and Scosset just to make sure that our money was well in hand, because Daria wears a very tight suit, and there's not like a really graceful way to incorporate a giant bag full of coin into that ensemble.
Okay. She leans over to you, Barnaby, and she whispers, your friend, and she looks over at Daria. What does she see when she looks at Daria?
So Daria has lavender skin. She's about 5'10" with slightly heeled boots. She wears a red set of trousers and coattails with a very deep plunging neckline. She's got dark purple hair that falls in waves. Red horns that sort of gracefully sweep back if I don't hit them. Red horns that sort of gracefully sweep back along her hair, and always smirking about something or another.
And she looks over to Barnaby, and she's like, your friend seems very friendly.
Oh, that's definitely a word for it. She knows how to get someone to love her quite a lot.
Okay.
Do you love her?
I suppose these things take time, but
Okay, fine. A factuation.
Maybe.
I mean, if you
Inside
want...
check me.
Daria is probably like throwing a wink or like blowing a kiss across the crowded tavern at that point in time.
Not to one.
Yeah, maybe she is, maybe she isn't. You don't fucking know.
Do I?
That would get me an insight check.
Do you want it to be a disadvantage because I'm super far away?
Yes.
Okay, that's still not terrible. Insight, you said?
Yeah.
13?
Okay. You think you got your hooks in there? If you wanted to mess around, you probably could. She's like, well, it's and you see Scosset come over, and he's got this steaming tray. It's got decent looking, like kind of whole grain breads and cheeses, and like some beef and barley soup, and more of the house ale. He's like, all right, enjoy. He kind of frowns at Mungo and goes back behind the bar.
Thank you, Scosset. I'll sit down. I mean,
Thank you, friend.
And we'll I'm going to start digging in. I mean, we haven't had a big meal like this in I don't know how long. And as I walk over to the table, I'm a solid 2 feet shorter than anybody else. I'm short. I'm round. The money disappeared into my waistcoat somewhere. Who knows what else is inside that waistcoat? But I walk over and sit down, climb up into one of the chairs, and dig in. Dig in. Eat it while it's hot.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's not fancy, but it's good. Stick to your ribs. A little salty. And you have a pretty great meal. And she keeps questioning you because she finds you each kind of individually fascinating. She's suspiciously avoidant of you, Daria. She's just it's easy to tell why. But she keeps on like questioning like Charlotte about her cool tinkering and her headgear and her magic. She talks to Mungo about like halfling culture and his cool hat. She talks to Barnaby about the stage. And then it grows late, and she finally musters some courage, and she's like, "Daria, you're fascinating too.
Would you like to hear more?
I think we should turn in for the evening."
That was my thought.
I should very much enjoy that. Are you sure?
Darling, I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
Cool. And she kind of walks over and stands expectantly and very nervously near one of the suite of this place. It's not great. I mean, it's like,
but like better than the room I had before, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
especially because it doesn't have 3 other people in it yet.
Really quickly, did we get told when we are expected to head out to this place, like in the morning, or?
That's true. She was so flustered by Daria. She's like, she leans back over her shoulder. She's like, "We should leave in the morning. Breakfast is on me."
An important meal.
And
I miss
she,
breakfast.
hearkening back to a previous moment, she grabs Daria by the wrist and yanks her into the room and slams the door.
As they're going in, Daria would just get a message in her mind and just say, "You butter her up, she'll be quite nice and toasty." That didn't make any sense. Just get more money for us.
And we'll do a soft fade there till tomorrow morning. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No.
Are you sure?
I was gonna note that if I don't know if we all have separate rooms, if we don't and we're together, you would note that Barnaby has his book, and he'll like start writing in it, and you'll see him like always scratching out what's going on, very agitated as you're writing this thing. And those who are probably closer would know this is his perfect play that he's trying to write, and he tried to use the moments of what happened at dinner and such. But the only thing that can stick with him is Hamlet, but then that's copywritten, so he gets rid of that and just closes it and does a sleep. He just kind of stares at the ground.
I love that copyright still exists in the fantasy world of Dungeons and
Totally.
Dragons.
Super important.
So
Totally.
we're far enough in the past that Hamlet is not out of the public domain yet.
Ah.
Yes.
There we go. Okay.
She purchased a room for each of you. Whether you want to bunk up together or not, that's entirely up to you. So if somebody could see that because they were in proximity to you, that's between y'all. But she was otherwise occupied, I would assume. I'm not making any assumptions because
She was.
Give me a performance check.
Oh,
Are you
my
serious?
God.
Oh man. Okay, it's a thing I'm good at, so that helps. That's a natural 20.
Oh,
Great.
Occupied her brains out.
crit.
You first crit of the evening. There's a few complaints over the course of the evening from this very raucous, rowdy tavern full of orcs and ogres and dwarves. They're like, "Can you keep it down in there?"
This is everything I wanted from D&D. I just
This is me not doing a good job of making a spooky thing. It's too endearing.
Oh,
All right.
I'm terrified right now.
Good.
Yes.
The next morning comes. Daria, give me a perception check, please.
I don't like that. 17.
17. You notice that she is up and getting dressed far too early, especially considering the evening's activities.
Does it seem like she's nervous or anxious or like she's trying to hide something?
Give me an insight check.
I would have tried to feign sleep while figuring this out.
Sure. Do it at advantage then.
Good. 15.
15. You notice she's kind of coyly looking over her shoulder at you a little bit and getting everything put together. Maybe a little bit of puppy love in those eyes. Who knows? But you also see that she's driven and purposeful in her actions. There's a plan now, and she is going to execute it to the best of her abilities.
So it's really just confidence that seems to be happening right now.
Determination.
Okay.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
No, I'll get up and I'll just kind of in the process of walking out of the suite and into the main tavern, just sort of throw on my tailcoat and straighten it into place while I wait for the others.
Okay. You'll notice that Scosset and his wife, Mara, are furiously kind of banging pots and pans around in the background, and she's kind of sitting politely at the same table, kind of hands folded, waiting for the four of you.
I'll make my way down at breakfast time. I'm not one to miss breakfast, so.
Mr. Mungo, breakfast is on its way. On me.
Oh, thank you, Evelyn. Really, it's you're doing a fine job, and we're really looking forward to helping you out and solving all these problems. But first, breakfast.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you for the encouragement, because I really needed the feedback. I've never really hired mercenaries.
No. We adventurers, specialists.
Adventurers.
Yeah,
Specialists.
Yes, we're specialists. I mean, really, the other ones here, these are all the mercenaries. But what you've shown such insight and intuition in choosing the right group of specialists for your needs, and the fact that you came in and were able to
Four times. What?
You came in 4 times? Wow. Well, then you picked right.
I sure did. And she kind of blushes a little bit. And Scosset and his wife come out carrying tea, like actual legit hot tea. These nice, like, little morning biscuit roll things. Too much eggs, too much bacon, and you were treated to a meal.
Very good.
Evelyn, or sorry, I'm not Evelyn, I'm Charlotte.
You're Charlotte.
I'm wearing
You
my
wish-
Evelyn outfit.
You
I'm
wish
so
you were
confused.
Evelyn. Oh, yeah.
I know, don't we all in this moment?
Yeah.
But hearing the sort of like clatter of teacups on like the tray being set down on the table, Charlotte will kind of like peek her head excitedly out of her door and head to the bar, and just kind of like mornings are maybe not Charlotte's strong suit, and so she'll just kind of good morning as she just pours herself a cup of tea and grabs like a biscuit.
You see that Barnaby had been doing like in the hallway, like some morning calisthenics. And as he's going, he's like, red leather, yellow leather, aluminum, alignment, and all those things, just working out of the mind, body, and spirit. But once he sees Charlotte, he'll finally kind of like put some pep in his step and will start to head down. You could tell that he probably didn't do any type of sleeping. He rested, but he didn't sleep at all. But he'll come down.
Me neither, dear.
Well, one of those words was optional. And he will sit at the table. He'll just kind of like take one of the sausages or whatever and kind of just like splay it in the air and go, all right, so when do we leave?
Oh, that's a good question, Mr. Barnaby. I think we should leave as soon as possible if we want to get there before dark, because it's creepy. Things in the dark are creepier, and it's about the better part of a day's journey. So I was hoping we could go soon, but I wanted to treat you to a nice repast first.
Absolutely, and really, a journey like this must begin with a hearty breakfast, and Mungo will just get a few more, bacon and some sausage, and he'll wrap up some of the biscuits and put some in his pockets for a second breakfast, because can't just have one.
Should we have the Amber Tanks family pack something? Are you
Oh, yeah, that's a little basket would be great. Yeah, yes, let's just throw some of this in a basket and we'll be on our way. But yes, we should be heading off.
Right. And Daria, eat up. You've probably got quite an appetite. And how do we pack tea for you, Charlotte?
Oh no, it's all right. I'm fine as long as I've got, some snacks down the way, but you don't have to worry about me. But thank you. I appreciate it.
She invented this wonderful thing called a thermos.
Oh yes.
It
Well, I do
keeps
have that.
hot things hot way longer than you would expect. I told you, she's brilliant.
Yes, and cold things cold.
I'm feeling very confident in my choice of adventurers, specialists, as Mr. Mungo called it. And Barnaby, do you have any needs for the road?
You see that Barnaby is currently, he has like a very ornate a deck of cards that he has been shuffling, and he's like kind of splaying them out and kind of just like mumbling to himself. And at that moment, as I speak to him, he flips over one of the cards and it's a jack. And the minute that jack appears, there's like an essence that comes off of it, floats next to him, becomes much bigger, and then disappears. And as that happens, you'll see the basket that the food was being made will suddenly gets picked up by something completely unseen. He said, no, I'm fine. And then Chekhov can get all that stuff.
Lovely. All right. And she goes and settles the tab with the ember tanks and stands by the door and smiles and looks expectantly at you.
I will offer her the crook of my arm by way of escort.
Charlotte, Barnabas, are we ready?
Well, I suppose so.
All right, let's be careful out there.
Great. And you take off and you head west of town. You travel through slums and nicer parts of the town. It's a crossroads town. You see all types. Eventually it becomes farmland, and you travel for hours. And she tells you a lot about her past, how she was an orphan, and how she's decided to really make something of herself. She seems fascinated. She wants to hear more about Barnaby's producers. And then she settles on a story, and she's like, so the story I heard about this property is that there was a small family here, and they the father was troubled by something, and he dispatched his family and then himself, and they seem to remain on the property. That's all I really know. And I'm sorry, I know that's grim. And I have these. Hold on. And she goes into her purse and she's like, she brings out 2 lesser healing potions, and she's like, in case something horrific happens, I don't know. And she hands them both to you, Daria.
Daria takes them and kind of like half holds them over her shoulder for someone else to take, because again, pockets. And she's just like, Evelyn, darling, I'm sure we won't need that. I mean, after all, we're professionals. We've dealt with hundreds of ghosts. I'm sure we'll deal with hundreds more.
Should I hang on to those then, or?
No. We'll take them though. We'll take them.
Yeah.
It would be rude to, give them back at this point.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Professional courtesy. We'll take them. Yes. Yeah. Mungo is perfectly happy to have them, and he'll take one and he'll hand one to Charlotte.
And thank you again for everything. We should keep going. It's the sun is setting, and you've been traveling a long time, like all day. You eventually arrive at the property. Barnaby, did you have something?
Oh, sorry. No. It's quick. But as we all are walking, and she talks about the tale of the house, he'll kind of smile at that, and he'll kind of wax on, but he'll say, a tale for a tale. Allow me to tell you the tale of 2 rival gang members stuck in a battle of life, love, liberty, and probably libidos. But this tale is not about them. It's about the one who was left behind. but we'll find out the end of this tale when it's necessary. As I use my Tales from Beyond ability to expend a bardic inspiration die, and I retain the results of this tale when I need to use it as an action later.
Love that. Okay. All right. That's spooky. Love that. You arrive to the edge of the estate. You're up on a kind of a hill. It's like if you guys ever been to like southwestern Nebraska, it's kind of flat and hilly, not a lot of trees around, very dry. And you see in the distance a farmhouse surrounded by overgrown fields. It's clearly a little run down, but like she said, good bones. And she's like, I would like to stay here and let you do your thing, if that's okay.
Will you be all right by yourself?
I would assume so. It's my understanding that the family is there, and I think I should be okay. And you see, like you're probably half a mile away. You can see it, but you're not close by any stretch. She's like, I could start a campfire so you could see, and unless you think I should go in there with you.
Oh, absolutely not. Make yourself a campfire and think about, I don't know, some more stories from your childhood to tell when we come back out. I'm sure this won't take more than 30 minutes, 40 minutes tops.
Well, the crew should be here tomorrow afternoon, so we have some time. So as long as we get those rascals out of there by then, we should be fine.
Sit back, relax. Every performance needs an audience member, specifically the benefactor. We can't have you getting in harm's way.
I'm a benefactor. Yes.
Yes. Well, speaking of that, Evelyn, if I may, exactly how many how many are we evicting? And Char looks very uncomfortable having to ask that question.
It is my understanding that there were three restless spirits.
Oh, all right. But just the three, nothing else.
Not to my knowledge.
Oh, all right. Well, three isn't so bad. They're at least outnumbered.
It sounds terrifying. 3 ghosts? Terrifying.
Well, the trick about ghosts is you just sort of have to find common ground and go from there. So, hallowed, usually. And Charlotte chuckles to herself because that's very funny.
She doesn't get it. Hallowed. Okay, I'm going to begin setting up camp. And she lays out it's not a blanket, it's like an overcoat that she kind of lays out on the ground and kind of starts kind of fiddling with some kindling. And she's like, well, if you need me, I'll be right here.
Oh, one last thing. You said, I'm so sorry. I'm the stage manager. I do the preparation. What you wouldn't happen to have like blueprints, would you? Just maybe in your pocket? That's probably a silly question.
No, but I know there are 2 stories, and it has good bones.
All right.
And you can see it's clearly there. You can look over there, and you're like, "Yep, that's 2 stories." So it's not great telemetry that she's given you. There's an indoor kitchen.
All right.
And there are bedrooms, which is nice. And there's a fireplace. That's
all right. And like portals to hell? Not featured in the listing by any.
Not to my knowledge.
All right. Well, that's good. But sight unseen, you never know. You might get lucky.
Lucky?
Well, you need, to each their own, this sort of thing. But anyway, all right. I'm just all right. Well, I'm just
She's deep in thought about that. Like I could monetize a portal to hell. Yeah, she's right.
Oh, Jesus.
And she's like, yeah. She starts writing in a little journal, and you can see like a PORTAL. And she's clearly like gained a degree of like intellectual fascination with you, Charlotte. It's more of a like,
Ew.
this is kind of what I wanted to be.
All right. Well,
Oh.
it's not. It's just well done you. And Charlotte will look back to the group and say, "Well, we're killing daylight, I suppose. Should we just go in?"
The sooner the better, I say. Yes.
Mungo, are you going to bring all of the packed lunches in with you?
We don't know how long we're going to be in there.
That's
Maybe.
that's a fair point. My apologies.
The basket's still floating next to me as something's holding it. So, I can bring it wherever you want.
I just think a little nibble now and then just will keep our spirits up, you know?
I mean, there's a lot of spirits in the house already, but I guess that's fair too.
As the others kind of walk away, Daria's going to hang back for a second and turn to Evelyn. And she's gonna take her hands again, reach into a pocket of her tailcoat, and place a gold locket in her palm. Now, darling, I don't think that anything bad is going to happen to me in there, but this is very important to me. And if this is the last time we're together, I want you to be able to remember me and think of me often.
You'll come back. Right? Say yes.
I'll do my best, dear. Anything to get back to you.
She puts it on. Hurry back.
And if she turns and joins the others, you all will see her kind of pull open her tailcoat flap, and you'll see 3 or 4 lockets hanging in there. Damn, I'm running low.
I was going to ask, where do you get so many lockets?
I have a guy who makes them in bulk for me. It's really the only way to purchase this kind of thing.
There is a tiefling.
Do you want to see the
boy.
pictures inside? They're kind of lewd, but I think you'll appreciate it. It's artsy.
No, not that's not Mungo's thing. So no, that's fine.
Okay. Just sharing my life as you're supposed to do with coworkers, but
As you approach them, oops, sorry.
sharing breakfast. I think sharing breakfast, sharing lunch, that's fine. It's the naughty bits that can,
well, I wasn't offering to share my naughty bits with you. I was really just trying to allow you to learn something about me. I can't do this straight faced. I'm sorry.
As you continue towards the house, you notice
Jesse
that
just wanted to tell a scary story.
I know, right? This is
No, it's
very scary so far.
funny and naughty,
It's
and
terrifying.
probably far more entertaining than what I had in mind.
No!
You see a overgrown pumpkin patch basically surrounding the house. It looks like it was kind of confined to like just the front area and like a nice little square, but the pumpkins grow on vines and they're just overgrown and they seem to be really thriving here. And there are pumpkins in various stages of decay. And some of them are flourishing and huge and healthy. Some of them are green and small. Some of them are old and rotten. It looks like no one has taken good care of this patch in a long time, but the ground is good and they're growing.
You'll see one of the pumpkins suddenly get lifted up. I mean, you also notice that the basket has left towards the pumpkin patch. You'll see one of the pumpkins get lifted up and then come back over. And Barnaby will kind of hold it in his hand. And he says, "Would you like to hear the tale of the Pumpkin King? It's not as long as it could be because he got squashed."
Oh my God. Your DM liked it.
I'm so disappointed in
He
you.
just dropped the pumpkin. No, it never works. And he starts to walk inside.
Worked on me, buddy.
Pulp humor is never the way to go, Barnabas.
Kate, were you about to say something?
No, I was just marveling at that shitty pun.
It was really good, I thought. As you approach the house, you realize it's going to be hard to get to the house without trudging through this tangle of overgrown pumpkin vines.
Can I roll an investigation check to
Yeah.
see if this looks like a grabby type of pumpkin patch?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
You
right.
can do investigation or nature, whatever you prefer.
And I'm going to cast a guidance on Charlotte as she's checking, just to make sure that we catch everything that we need to catch.
That's a 19.
Plus a D4.
Oh,
Plus
plus a
D4.
D4. Might be.
Just to put it over the top.
20.
Hey.
20. Okay. With a 20, you're fairly confident that this is a standard overgrown pumpkin patch. However, it does look like it would be very difficult to move through briskly. Like I said, the pumpkin vines, even to your specific means of locomotion, seem to be going up to about the middle of your shin. To the others, it's perhaps Mungo can barely see over them.
It's up to my chest.
Yeah, it's a problem. So you with a 20, you'd be like, well, if we need to run, it's going to be hard.
Okay.
And there's
Yeah.
no path. There's no sort of walkway up to the front door. There's no. Doesn't look like anybody's been walking back and forth.
Not in some time. It looks like there once was. It looks like there was 2 pumpkin patches adjacent to one another.
Yeah.
And that they at one point they were probably fairly well manicured, but now they've kind of grown into one mishmash.
So the prestidigitation spell does allow for you to light a enough fire to have a torch or even a small campfire. So he'll kind of splay his hands and goes, watch and learn, bibbity bobbity boom. And I'm gonna attempt to start to light small little fires underneath the brush to see if we can burn some of it away. It's a cantrip, so I doubt it's gonna be a lot, but at least try to do something.
Could I use thaumaturgy to sort of stir up a little bit of wind and maybe cause that fire to spread?
I like it. Give me an Arcana check, CB. I like it. Let's reward the creativity.
15.
15. Yeah, it flickers a little bit, and you're like, it's not getting enough oxygen. And then this little breeze comes through, and you get a nice smoldering kind of rolling brush fire happening. You want to encourage that to keep going?
I just want to point out that one of the things we want to do is keep the house. So we do want to keep the house. So let's.
I told you not to make that promise.
We'll snuff the flame when we need to.
If I may, all right. And Charlotte will sort of like, oh no, my cool hat is falling off. Charlotte will pull her goggles down, which I cannot do, but just imagine it. And
it's real cool.
And as she does, her sort of like pack will ka-chunk and then ka-chunk and then like move forward. And this series of sort of like small spinning blades starts like spinning around her hand as she sort of like transforms into a human weed whacker as I cast Sword Burst.
Love it.
Go down the pumpkin patch.
Best use of that cantrip I have ever heard.
It's useless. So
Today it ain't.
except for weed whacking. Let's go.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
There is a slow rolling brush fire growing towards the house. I would say if you, with repeated casts of Sword Burst, you could accomplish the same thing. But there's fire now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Charlotte would sort of like not want to acknowledge that perhaps Barnaby's contribution is more destructive, but as the OSHA certified stage manager, she's, obviously she handles around herself flame and that kind of thing. And so I think what I'm kind of envisioning is she will like weed whack a path that kind of like cuts the fire off from like the house to like stop it from spreading.
Sure.
And just kind of like mows it down. And then as like this hyper efficient path appears, she'll look at Barnaby and say, but your idea was really nice too. I just think that it takes time, and it can get really out of control very quickly. And so
fire is emotion incarnate. Of course I wanted more of it.
It is, I know, and but I respect that about you, honestly, and it's your gumption and your know-how. It's wonderful. Simply, I was taking notes, honestly.
She says she likes my gumbo. Thank you.
And Mungo's just running around sort of like stamping on sparks as they float around, just trying to sort of put things out to keep things from getting out of hand.
Excellent. What's everybody's passive?
Perception.
Passive what?
Yes.
A solid 10, right in
Okay.
the middle.
11.
10.
Minus 13.
13.
I was expecting some of y'all to have a higher perception.
No, we're dumb. We're all useless to Katie.
Um, with the residual sunlight, as Charlotte weed whacks her way through this pumpkin patch, spraying pumpkin gore everywhere. It's really cool. You notice that there's a very tall, very weathered-looking scarecrow in the near distance.
Nah. Nah.
Nah?
Nah.
Okay. Okay.
Nah.
You don't notice it?
No, I mean I do. And Charlotte will like, does it look like a scary scarecrow or is it like a fun scarecrow?
Sure. Give me a perception check. What Charlotte is a human?
I am a fallen Aasimar.
Oh,
Ooh.
spoiler alert. So you have dark vision, and
Yes.
we still have some kind of late afternoon waning sunlight. Yeah, just a straight perception check.
All right, here I go. That's a 13.
13. Spooky. Little frightening looking. It's big. It looks like it was meant to scare off a lot of crows.
Okay. Everyone, I don't know if there's really anything to worry about. But there's an awfully large scarecrow over that way. And well, as much as sometimes scarecrows can be, beloved characters of Americana, sometimes they can also be a vessel for, the souls of the damned to possess and try and kill you. So I was just, just mentioning.
Sure.
That's all. I was kind of trying to do like a Wizard of Oz joke, but it crashed and burned.
No,
but,
no,
it's fine.
it
So I was
worked-
trying to
it
like do
worked
like
well.
a thing. I couldn't think of a slogan, and then I was like, "All right." He was the brains one. It was fine. All right, nailed
worked.
it.
I think you did a good job. Trudging through these kind of punishing brambles and overgrown vines of the pumpkin patch, it's not hard to feel. You feel as almost like the roots of the vines and plants seek to hinder your every movement. It's not that they actively are. It's just like this is so overgrown. Mungo,
Yes.
give me an acrobatics check.
Thank you for the acrobatics. There we go.
Because you're a widow.
That's a 10. That's a
10. Mungo pulls himself free of a particularly problematic vine, and it's dried out. And you hear this loud, hollow snap, and it kind of echoes across this landscape like a gunshot. And as you're beginning to approach the scarecrow, those of you with a passive over 10 would notice that its head goes at the sound.
It moved. I called it. It moved. I don't like this. Can we what
Are
do
you
we do?
sure it wasn't just the wind?
No, it
No,
moved.
I think I'm pretty sure that it's trying to be a paid actor, but it's failing at its job.
What?
I mean-
what do we do?
It's perfectly still right now. I don't.
Oh no,
And it goes back to
definitely
being
moved.
still, like perfectly.
It's
Hey! You can't hide from us. If you have a problem with us being here, then show yourself. Don't be a little punk.
oh
Okay.
wow, that's you know what,
Give me an
Barnaby? I like
intimidation
those.
check there, Barnaby.
I hear
Strong
taunting the
choices.
supernatural is really the best way to
25.
begin any kind of.
25.
Oh my.
You see the mouth open even further, and this, out of the sackcloth mouth, a very human, very long tongue kind of rolls out of the mouth. You have to kind of slap around, and you see human, very green, very bloodshot, furious eyes roll out of the into the eye socket area, and it just lets out this.
On second thought, never mind. You can go back to sleep.
And it hops off of its stick and lands in the middle of you. And we need to roll some initiative.
Aha!
DM, very quickly, just
Yes.
point of order.
Mhm.
Are there any pumpkin vines that are still smoldering for no particular reason?
Yes,
Okay.
mechanically there can be, if that would be of service to you.
That would be of service.
All right, I'm going to move us to this.
This tracks. I always get low on initiatives.
All right. So in the middle of, can you all see your individual icons on roll 20?
Oh yeah.
Feel free to move yourself where you think you would be. I'm not that guy. If you're up next to it, then you're up next to it. If you're not, you're not. I'm going
he's
to
like over here.
demarcate on the map where I think you guys would have cleared, because I think that's the right thing to have done. So let's say you were coming up this way.
So stupid.
Everything along here is not rough terrain. Everything else that is outside of the box is considered rough terrain.
Okay, then he's like right. No, he's probably like right here.
Okay. All right, let's look at that initiative. Let's go with, I need to roll a thing for the guy. The guy gets a thing. The guy gets a D20 for initiative. Okay. Not great.
Better than two of us.
Oh no. I don't like to hear that.
I have a +4 to my initiative, and I Kate knows I notoriously roll low.
Dude,
That's because
I've
you're
never seen
thoughtful.
anything like it. Like it's just
You just like to make an entrance. You just like to let everybody go and then make an entrance.
Totally.
Okay. Barnaby. What was that?
8.
An 8. Mungo.
7.
So no. Charlotte.
oh god. I forgot the number. Hold on, it's in the thing.
oh,
It's a 14.
14. Okay.
Nailed it.
Daria.
6.
Oh, hey.
Oh my god. Charlotte. What is your dexterity, Charlotte?
My dex is 13.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Up first is the Scarecrow,
God damn it.
who didn't roll great. In fact, he rolled a 14 as well. He moans and looks at you and howls. He looks a little panicked and angry and furious. He is going to leap high into the air and land right here. Oh, I'm drawing shapes. Ignore that.
Good job.
Consummate professional. He's going to land just right here, but you see him leap almost out of your visual range.
Oh, wow.
He's going to land right here. And he extends his arms, and they have these long thresher claws on the end of these wooden dowel arms that are very reminiscent of a skeleton. And he kind of spins and opens his arms. I need a dexterity saving throw from Charlotte and Mungo.
So is this an attack against me?
This is an attack against your area.
So if it's okay.
Wait, is it an attack or is it a saving throw?
Oof.
It is not a targeted attack. This is a saving
Okay.
throw.
It's a saving. All right.
I got it.
Sorry.
No, because I had my undead patron makes it hard for undead to target me with an attack or spell, but it sounds like this is just an area.
Man, I didn't mean to ding you over that way, buddy.
No. It's quite all right. It's quite all right.
He did.
All right. I did.
A deck save?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 5.
We
That's a
were real
5.
bad.
I was
All right.
surprised.
You both take, let me get to chat here. 6 slashing damage as these rusty reaper blades scratch across your upper thighs. Mungo probably gets right in the chest.
Oh.
Up next, we have Charlotte and Barnabas. You're on deck.
Hey, DM.
Yeah.
How much would you say this scarecrow weighs? Like, it's
Oh,
a scarecrow.
Jesus.
He's made of straw and
Straw and sticks. I would say 140 pounds.
oh, a very beefy boy. Okay.
He's like 8.5, 9 feet tall of just scarecrow badness.
Okay. Okay, then I'm gonna. Okay, that's you know what? That's fine. I would
What if
like.
he was 130?
Well, it's no, that wouldn't
Okay.
do it probably. Okay, so what I would like to do is as Charlotte kind of steps back, having gotten slashed by this the sort of like gears on her backpack begin to sort of like clink and clang again, as out from the back of it kind of grows this, like, it almost looks like a disc or something like that. And I need the scarecrow to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Alrighty. So that would be a 14.
That's so close to being a cool thing that happens.
Did I? Sorry.
Well,
No.
okay. I'm gonna narrate it anyway because I have a question about the rules.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what happens is as this disc kind of like comes up and it kind of ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk into place, it then becomes sort of like spherical. And Charlotte will reach down and she'll pick up a pumpkin and she'll throw it into the thing as this mechanical catapult comes out of her backpack, and then she'll duck as it whangs it into the face of the scarecrow. Because this is what the rule says, and this is why I have a question, is because it says if the object would strike a creature, that creature must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the object strikes the target and stops moving, et cetera, but it doesn't say what happens if it fails. Does it just miss completely?
It sounds like a saber suck spell. Are we using
Okay.
catapult?
Yeah.
Omega, did you have something to say, buddy?
No, never mind.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. So, but this pumpkin splatters against the face of the scarecrow, and while it doesn't look necessarily injured, it shrieks and glares at you, and it's trying to rub pumpkin gore out of its a little too human face. And it's just panicking. Barnabas, Charlotte, any bonus actions or movement?
Oh, and I'll take a couple of steps back away from him.
Okay.
But just FYI, I don't have control of my character in Roll20, so you have to move it.
Oh, well, it's because I didn't give it to you. I
That's
bet.
okay.
Yeah, I sure. No, I gave it to Diana. That's why. So that's fine. There we go. Now you should.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay. And
Sorry.
I'll just go to like. No, you're fine. I'll just go like to there. Just kind of scooch back.
And I'm going to say this: the scarecrow takes his attack of opportunity at you and swipes. But he's got a pumpkin in his very human-looking, bloodshot green eyes, and misses entirely.
Haha! Pumpkin spice this, you son of a bitch.
Barnabas, you are up, and Mungo on deck.
Great. I will look at this individual, not liking this. And you also notice I'm like collecting these small little, like if this is like a bramble with like, thorns and stuff, he gets used, notice he's just kind of collecting some of the thorns. But he looks up at this creature, and he said, before I do this, because I just realized something. As someone who is very attuned with the idea of not being alive, is this creature not alive in the sense that it is undead, or is it
Absolutely.
not? It is.
I'm going to say you game recognize game, and yeah, you can tell that, especially with its physiology not quite matching up right, but there being organic facial features.
Fair. Okay. Then you see he has a thought, completely gets rid of that thought because that would not work. But he looks up and he says, You probably should have stayed back on your little pole, friends, because now you have to deal with me. And as I say me, my voice begins to echo and undulate. And in its non-existent dead mind, it starts to hear a very awful in a minor key version of spooky, scary skeletons are shivering down your spine. As I cast dissonant whispers on it.
Okay.
It needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. That is 19 on the die for 18.
Rip. Yeah, nope. That it takes half damage at least, but it does not have to wreathe in pain and run away. Not bad. So it takes 6 points of psychic damage.
6 points of psychic damage. Got it. All right.
And as those voices begin to emanate, it kind of coalesces on itself, and somehow turns into not necessarily happy, but it resolves itself. It goes back into measure as that music moves over to Mungo. As I use a bonus action to give Mungo bardic inspiration.
Love that.
That
you see
is
it kind of
me.
grabbing its head with these, and its hands don't look like hands. They're clearly like rusty farming implements, and it's grabbing its head and kind of shrieking. Any movement there, Barnaby?
No, I'm gonna stay where I am because it's not really close to me.
Mungo, you are up. Daria on deck.
Very good. I will, with my bardic inspiration and this abomination in front of me, I will start by blasting it with an eldritch blast.
All right.
Rolling a 9, promptly using my bardic inspiration die.
So D6.
D6, thank you. Giving me 3. So that is a 12.
12 kind of goes wide. This thing, its bodily proportions are weird and gangly, and where you may have hit a humanoid, like an ogre or something of the same height, this thing is spindly and it's moving in this weird, disjointed, creepy manner. And it glares at you. It drops its hands from its head and.
So I am now. So then I'm going to move back through this open area. Knowing that it's going to take it's going to try to take an attack of opportunity against me.
It already tried. It had pumpkin in its eyes.
Oh, right. It already did its attack of opportunity. So yeah. So then I will clear out of the way and prepare for the next attack. That's it. That's my move.
All right, Daria, you are up. Bad guy on deck.
So Daria is going to kind of glance at this situation that's presented itself, promptly turn on a heel, and walk with purpose towards the door to the creepy house, using not only her movement, but also a dash action, calling over her shoulder as she goes, "Darlings, we were hired to deal with ghosts, not scarecrows. You're becoming distracted."
All right, we can do that. You're in difficult terrain, so with that and a dash, you could get to 6 paces. That'll get you just on the very edge of the pumpkin patch.
What if I just like misty step out of the pumpkin patch and then walk towards the door?
Then you could just do that.
That's just what I'll do then.
You do that instead. All right. You want to just be over at the door?
Just be there.
Yeah. Daria steps into an alternate dimension. I don't know what that looks like. You can be the narrator of that.
You all have seen it before. It's literally like she's one place and then she's another. There's no fanfare to it. She wants this to be just sort of a thing that she does. So there's not a lot of fanfare to it. She's just sort of at the door and like impatiently looking back at the others.
Okay. Any bonus actions? I'm going to say we went and use the movement.
She taps her foot impatiently.
Great. And the scarecrow kind of looks over its shoulder. Okay, and it's its turn. Being the only one that's done significant damage to it, it's going to leap high in the air again, almost out of your visual range, and land right next to you, Barnaby. With a
And there's so many other people. I mean, I know I'm the most well rehearsed right now, but still.
It's going to take its multi-attack at you.
No.
No, it's. I think it is.
No.
First one. Close this. Does a 14 hit?
As it almost hits,
Mhm.
it definitely attempts to hit. You see the thorns that he has been collecting. They finally all coalesce into this odd-shaped circular disc, perhaps a crown of some sort. And he says, "There's a famous play about one who wears one of these things. How about you try it on?" As I cast Silvery Barbs. So you can re-roll that and take the lower number.
Okay, I'll do that. I love Silvery Barbs. People talk shit. I like it. That would be an 8.
Then you don't hit. I will give the advantage to myself because no.
Wait, he's going to take his other claw attack. Does a does an 11 hit?
No.
That's his turn, and it looks like Charlotte is up. Barnabas on deck.
I think Charlotte will see what Daria did and kind of be like, yeah, you know what? Maybe not. But as she's like running, she doesn't want to leave her friends in the lurch. So can I have Mr. Scarecrow make a dexterity saving throw, please?
You absolutely may. May. He's pretty dexy. That's his whole thing.
Yeah. A very dexterous
but he got
man.
a 6.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So as she sort of turns around and says, "And another thing," her sort of like bracelets that she's wearing will sort of like Iron Man down into sort of a configuration, and she will like sort of blast a fireball at it as I cast a sacred flame. So not a ton of damage. He'll take 6 fire damage. But she'll say, "It's terribly gauche to just be a." You should wait. No, I have a better setup for the joke I was going to say. Hold on. You're really just wasting your life attacking people as they come by. I mean, look at you. You're a man, outstanding in your field, and here you are. Wasting your life attacking passers-by. You could have done so much more.
I hate it here. Jesse, kill me.
Ashamed of yourself. And then she like, I don't know if I have enough movement to make it all the way to the house. But I'll get to, we'll say like here-ish.
Yeah, that's fine. So you notice the fire, even with a meager roll, really seems to piss this thing off, and it shrieks and it starts trying to pat itself out as the burlap and the straw and the wood that makes up its frame begin to ignite.
Now we're talking.
All right, that was a good hit on him. We are at Barnaby and then Mungo.
Oh gosh. This is hard. Yeah. This thing is right next to me, and I am not Daria with the ability to just teleport when
We can't all be perfect.
You're correct. Mine takes talent. But he looks at this creature and says, Charlotte is quite right. You could be doing so much more for yourself. Unfortunately, things look quite corny for you. Vicious mockery.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Is that a save?
Yes, a wisdom save.
Wisdom, not his specialty. 6.
Yeah, no, that's a fail. You will take 3 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
I also will, because it was a horrible pun. You will have disadvantage on your next attack roll.
Mhm.
But I am just going to just look at them, kind of wait for the payoff. Notice the payoff doesn't come, and just attempts to bolt.
Okay.
So 10, 15, 25. I guess I get here.
Yeah.
With my movement.
Gotcha. Yeah, it takes a clumsy swipe at you. Let's see how he does.
At disadvantage.
Disadvantage. It's a good thing it's a disadvantage. I don't think a 9 hits.
No.
Okay. Anything else, Barnaby?
I say, I'm coming. Just wait. Be patient.
Sounds good. Mungo, what up?
Yes. Now everyone seems to have left me. This is not how it's supposed to work, I'm afraid. But I will. Seeing as how he just took that swipe and is distracted, I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get all the way over here. And then I'm going to I'm going to blast him again with my Eldritch Blast, calling upon my dark patron. And let's see if I get a better shot at him. Oh, with a critical hit.
Roll that damage, my friend. Let's do brutal crits. Let's do it.
There we
So
go.
max out the first one and then do your roll.
Oh, all right. So that would be a total of 13 then. A 10
13.
and 3, 13 damage.
As the force blast of the concussive wave set off. What do your Eldritch Blasts look like?
Oh, it's dark. I mean, it's almost as if it's just like pure night coming out of my hands. So it's cold and dark. It feels like a blast from the grave.
Okay. That hurt it too. And you notice that blasted just a huge chunk of its like weird looking rib cage area out, and it howls in pain, and it fixes its eyes on you.
Right. So then with my last bonus action, I will Misty Step the rest of the way out of this pumpkin patch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Misty Step is 30, right?
I think it's 60.
Is it 60?
It's 30.
It's 30. I knew
I
that.
think.
Consummate professional over here.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah,
So
up to 30
gonna-
feet.
That's gonna get me. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's gonna get me right to the edge of the pumpkin patch there.
Barnabas totally isn't jealous.
Well, if everyone else is running, I'm gonna run too.
Daria, you are up, followed by the bad guy.
Yeah. So am I at the door to this house yet?
Yeah, I would say you are within 10 feet of the door.
Is it
it's
open?
currently shut. It's currently shut. You don't know if it's open or locked.
Well, I will see if it's locked.
Okay, so I'm going to move you up to here. Doesn't appear to be locked.
Wonderful. Then I'll sort of swing the door open, and just call out over my shoulder, Mungo, darling, is the leader you're supposed to go in first?
Coming. Gee.
That's it.
All right, love it. Top of the round, Scarecrow is up, leaps high into the air again, almost out of visual range, lands right next to you, just on the far side of you. He does the same thing this time. Rather than like lean into you with those two claws, as he lands, he kind of rakes his Reaper claws around in a big sweeping arc. Please make a dex saving throw.
Barnaby sees this thing fall and he goes, "You all left the weak one behind." And will attempt to crit on this dex saving throw.
You easily just vault over these terrifying looking rusty thresher claws, and it looks up at you and moans in pain. All right, and it is Charlotte's turn.
Oh boy. So I might be trying to break the game a little bit.
Break the shit out of it. That's how I play.
So thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy.
the feature that
Mhm.
you can cause flames to brighten for 1 minute,
Mhm.
but it doesn't say anything about intensity of temperature. But I would assume if a flame was glowing brighter, it would mean that it was more a stronger fire. So
Yeah.
so I think so Charlotte will just sort of like gesture with her cool like gauntlet thing and point at the scarecrow and use thaumaturgy to brighten and enhance the flame.
I love it. Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. I would be delighted to do that.
I love that. That's weird.
That's
I
a
love it.
22.
Oh, well done.
And you do so, and the flames grow on this very combustible medium, and it shrieks, and it starts whipping its arms around.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what you get for making a straw man argument.
I'm proud of you.
Love you.
I'm sorry. Also, Barnaby, hurry up. Get out of this field. Come on.
I'm not as nimble as you are.
I'm all right. Well, do you want help? I can come back.
No, go. I'll get there.
All right. Okay.
Mm.
I can't hold this door forever.
We're coming.
Hold on. I forgot to see how far I could walk.
We're hand waving a lot of that.
That's fine.
Yeah. It's all right, Barnaby, what's up?
Seeing this thing flailing, he's just gonna take the moment and just attempt to book it as much as he can.
Okay.
Action, bonus action. I mean, action and dash, movement and dash to go, which gets him here. Thanks to difficult terrain.
Yep, sorry, buddy.
Just
It's not even, it's trying to pat itself out. It is not interested in taking an attack of opportunity on you right now.
the last time I had to find myself crawling through mesh and disgust was through the community theater version of Broklahoma.
Okay. Any bonus actions, Barnaby?
None that matter right now.
Okay. And it is you see it kind of stumbling your way narratively, but right now it is just very intent on patting itself out. Mungo, what is up? Daria on deck.
Yes, Mungo is going to continue.
Wait, I'm silly. I got
What'd you do?
here. I went 30, not
Yeah,
I did all that wrong. I got
Look, I
there.
don't question CB. CB knows his rules, so
Not all the time.
sounds fake, but okay.
Mungo will fire yet another of his dark blasts at this creature as he continues to try to catch up with Daria.
Yeah.
So firing with just an 11.
11 goes a little wide again.
Little wide.
11 is what we rolled before.
Yes, which is fine.
fine.
And I will then use my movement. 2, 3, 4. Let me just make sure. I'm a halfling. Do I only go? 12?
Yeah, are you the short legs kind of halfling?
I'm the short leg kind of halfling. Although let me see. No, I mean it doesn't say. Anyway,
If it doesn't specify, you're good.
I'm just gonna go. So I'm gonna get right up to here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. That gets me almost to the door. Daria, I'm coming. I'll be there shortly.
As a pun? No. Excellent. Daria, what up?
How far away are my companions right now?
One is 10 feet away, one is about 25 feet away, and one is about 40 feet away, maybe 35 feet away.
Okay,
Ballpark.
then she's gonna kind of turn to all of these lollygaggers and roll her eyes and sort of throw her hands up in the air and cross the threshold.
Okay.
And
Well-
probably get eaten by ghosts immediately.
As you cross the threshold,
Oh no.
it's really dusty in there.
I hate it.
Ooh.
Ew.
It is. It sucks. It's gross.
Allergies. Allergies.
And I'll give you a better description in a minute. But right now, your eyes are kind of adjusting to the difference in brightness, and you find yourself stepping onto kind of an aged wooden floor, cobwebs, dust. Dusty
I'll
for
kinda
the
go,
reference.
Mr. and Mrs. Ghost, could you all leave? And just sort of wait.
Okay, that's something.
That's
If
always
you
the first
don't
you
ask,
try.
the answer's always no.
That's a good point.
Ooh,
Um, Is that the end of your turn, Daria?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything useful.
Okay, love that. The scarecrow's turn. It jumps, just like you've seen it do 3 other times, but this time it seems to like tumble, and it starts to lose its bodily integrity. And as it lands, it falls to pieces. And you see its corporeal form begin to kind of flake away and rise into the air. You don't know if it's the flames that are combusting the flammable material or something else. But you see the body leave a scorch mark on the ground in the shape of a scarecrow. And at the head of the scorch mark on the ground, you see 2 furious looking bloodshot green eyes and a lolling tongue in its spine. You're out of initiative.
Barnabas, you're welcome. Now join us.
I don't like this.
Well, wait, should we do something about the eyes? I mean, it's just sort of weird that there's just like eyes on
He
the
does-
ground.
He does kind of
now.
pick up. He definitely picks up one of the eyes.
Yeah, Barnaby, that seems like a
If
like
he
a
can.
you thing, you know?
Yeah, of course. There's a pair of eyes and a fleshy tongue.
He does
Two
not
for
touch
one.
the other eye. He just takes one eye, and the tongue is nasty. He just goes an eye for an eye. I heard that about something in the past. I don't know. And he like kind of prestidigitates it so it's a little cleaner, and then like finds a little vial and like bloop, corks it. Starts going to where the group is.
Excellent. So you leave the other eye and the tongue on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You make your way towards the threshold of this house. As you walk up the steps, now that the chaos of battle is over, you see an antiquated sign over the door that says Ball House. And that's where we're going to take a little break.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
Oh,
We should be back. And you guys want to call it a tenor?
Sure.
Yeah, tenor.
All right. 10
Tenor sounds
minutes.
good. We'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Thank you so much for watching so far.
Thank you, everybody.
Love you guys.
Don't go
And
too far. Yeah.
We are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for not going nowhere. I appreciate that. I tinkled. I left, but I came right back. We are rejoining our party. They just had to kill a scarecrow. It had weird organic eyeballs and this lolling, slavering tongue. And as they killed it, it kind of dissipated into the air and rose up and disappeared, leaving those body parts behind. As Daria disappeared into the darkness of the house, we'll say Barnaby looked up and saw the words "Fall House" over the door. I will say that Daria is currently the only one inside.
If I see that it's Fall House, you said?
Yep.
He would just kind of note that in his head and goes, okay, that's weird. I guess it's not really weird. Could be like Summer House or something, but that doesn't really fit the aesthetic. And he will he'll continue walking forward,
Okay.
dusting himself off.
You notice the dilapidated state of the building. It's jagged and imposing against the night sky. It's abandoned. A lot of the windows have been boarded up. Some are broken. It's cracked and darkened with mold and filth on the inside. You see a skeletal oak tree off to one side, but it looks like it's been dead for years. The dark interior is worrying. It seems darker than it should be, even, save for the bustle of your own footsteps. And does the rest of the party join Barnaby and Daria?
Yeah.
Now that I'm here, I will take my role as the leader, and I'll poke my head in and use my warlocky dark vision, my devilish sight.
Oh yeah.
To look into this into this darkened house and see what I can see in here.
Sure. You know what I'll do is I will go to the map in Roll20, so you can kind of look around, and I'll give you a brief description of kind of what you see. And if you want to investigate it more thoroughly, you're welcome to do so. So we should be there now. You're kind of all in. Mungo, I'm not trying to play for you. I'll drag you to like the entryway, and you can put yourself inside if you like.
Yep. No, I'll definitely step in and look around and
Okay.
And see what I can see. We're looking for the things that we're looking for.
Yeah. As you step across the threshold, you hear an exhale, and the door slams behind you. Could it be the wind? Maybe. This used to be a place of comfort. There's a cozy family room off to your left, a modest hearth, and above the hearth hangs like a little family portrait or something. It's hard to see. Looks like something. And there's a threadbare love seat with a few wooden chairs. They're dilapidated and crumbling away. You see a little kitchen off to the right, and a dining room table, a wash basin, and a wood-fired stove. And you're free to drag your characters around and be like, "Hey, what's this? What's this?"
All right. Well, I'll start by moving into the room and looking around. I mean, we're gonna see if one, is there anything moving or undead in this room that we can see?
In this room, you don't see, and you see surprisingly little movement. Katie, I'm giving you control of your guy. Sorry. No, this is my fault.
Is that a staircase across
You
the way?
see it on the far side of the room. You see a staircase. Like I said, you see. I'd like everybody to go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Investigation.
I'm just going to go over to Charlotte, and definitely be the whisper in her ear, and give her the help action, as well as a little bit of guidance, because I will not be helpful in this at all. So you can roll your roll with advantage and add it to you. D4.
Okay, thank God, because that was the worst thing.
And I rolled a 21 in my investigation.
21 investigation. Okay.
And I'm as I look around, I'm also looking to see if there are any pictures or signs of the family that once lived here.
Okay. Above the hearth, Jason might be able to help me out with what you see. You see a family photo. It's very, very weathered, and there's it seems to be kind of like partially falling away or something under the conditions. Was that a 1, Miss Charlotte?
No, that was a
Oh,
on
that's
the
the
D4.
D4.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got an 11 total.
Okay. I'm going to go to Mungo, and then we'll be right to you. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Does everybody see our kind of torn up family portrait?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay. Uh-oh. All right.
So you see a kind of as described, a family. They look like farmers, perhaps, slightly well-to-do, but hard-working folk. It probably took a few months savings to commission a nice family portrait like this. Let's go with let's go with Charlotte. Charlotte, what are you looking for specifically, friend?
Well, if this specific illustration is to be taken as is, I was sort of interested in the large, obvious bloodstains on the floor.
Okay. Yeah, so you look at the large, obvious bloodstains on the floor, and then you realize that you touch them?
Yes.
Leroy
Leroy
Yes.
Jenkins, yes.
They are very dry.
Okay.
They look like they've been soaked into the wood. With a 13, you notice that it's more than what you would expect to find in a kitchen. This is not like from a ham or something. This is
Okay.
clearly impropriety.
Okay.
Daria.
So I rolled an 11.
Oh yeah,
I'm looking for ghosts.
you're looking for ghosts.
Yep.
So you're looking around. You're like, hey, fucking ghosts, or whatever Daria would say. I don't know. I'm not.
No,
I'm
that's
not
pretty
Daria.
on brand. No, that's about right.
Pretty on brand.
Yeah. Any ghosts?
You look around and you look at the table, and you notice something. For one, Mungo showed you this distressed family painting, and then you look at the place settings. You look at the chairs. There may be something there. And then you look at one of the plates. And on this plate, you notice something kind of quiver.
I will approach, and as I'm walking, just kind of say, darlings, I'm not wonderful at math, but it does seem that there are more than 3 people living here at one point. What's on the plate?
You notice a human tongue and 2 green eyeballs. And as you approach, they look at you.
Hello, dear.
Oh boy.
A gaunt face begins to press its way upward through the tablecloth, dragging the yellowing sheet upward from the edges of the table as the dishes and utensils kind of grind against the coarse wood.
What kind of face is it? Is it mad?
It looks like a skeletal figure of a woman as it's beginning to stand. The eyes kind of fix into these skeletal sockets, and the tongue rolls out of the mouth as you see an apparition.
Have you been here long?
It looks down kind of pensively, really. And it opens its mouth further, like it's trying to say something, and the tongue lolls out further, and the jaw keeps distending and distending and distending until it's about maybe a foot below the upper jaw. And then you hear it. It's a sound. It ablates every nerve in your body, a voice like 1,000 forks scraping against 1,000 chalkboards, like shattering windows in your mind. This pained howl of a woman. Please make a wisdom saving throw, everyone.
Is this against being frightened?
It is not.
No, it's not. Oh. 13.
Okay. Looks like I've got a 3. Is it a 3? And a 6. Okay. And okay, everyone fails. Everyone takes 1 psychic damage.
All right, that's not so bad.
I will leave it up to you if you want to join an initiative. This may not have been an aggressive action.
So I'm familiar with this whole blood curdling kind of noise thing. I do it often. So I'd like to think that Daria would sort of have enough presence to take a step closer and say, if you can't tell me, can you show me?
Okay. Give me a
I'm going to turn as
Oh.
this is happening because definitely noticed that. But noticing Dario try to be more talkative, he'll just kind of take out those cards and kind of shuffle them again and look at the queen that pops up and goes, that tracks. And there's an essence that flows. I do not need to be next to you to cast guidance on you.
Oh, cool. I moved you around inappropriately. I apologize. Okay. Let's give me a either religion or arcana.
Anna. Oh, okay. 17.
Ooh.
Okay. The creature drifts back against the far wall. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the map real fast. Because this is way more interesting than just killing it right away. Maybe shit happens, maybe not. So it's going to drift over here towards the cupboard. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bigger so you guys can kind of see what we're dealing with.
Oh yeah.
And it reaches back without even looking, and it grabs a pair of like kitchen shears, like you would use to like snip something off of like a roast or something, and it drops them at your feet. Again, shrieks.
At whose feet?
Everyone at yours. It drops the kitchen shears at your feet, and begins to shriek louder and louder and louder, and it's not subsiding.
Perhaps hello. I'm terribly sorry to interrupt. But perhaps, if I may, I don't know a lot about the spirit realm, and whether a shade such as yourself can communicate. But perhaps I may be of assistance. And Charlotte will take off her glasses with like the little things, and she'll put them down on the table.
Okay.
And we're gonna break the game a little bit more.
Break it.
And Charlotte will cast magical tinkering on the glasses,
Okay.
with the intention of allowing the ghost to project like something, like images, sound, whatever, because you have it's basically light, a 6-second long recorded message, non-verbal sounds, visual effects, 25 words of text. So you've got options.
Sure.
But to like give the ghost an opportunity to like communicate, like using this like magical force of the glasses.
Okay, great. It looks confused for a moment. It drifts through the glasses for a second. And then it kind of the tablecloth kind of expands, and almost like an old-timey movie, you see a memory. You see two small figures, feminine. You see the view of a window pane, and you see a man tilling a field outside. You recognize that's probably from here. You see another one of these small, slender, young, feminine figures. And then you see a pair of scissors coming right towards the camera. And then you feel it more than anything else. You feel it. You feel it. You feel your heart break and a pain in your eyes. And then she drifts back away.
Charlotte will gather her thoughts and speak very carefully, and say, I am terribly sorry about what happened to you. But we mean you and your family no harm. We actually, if possible, we would love to help you if there's a way that we could perhaps release you from here or send you to somewhere beyond, but needlessly suffering like this, especially after what you went through, is, well, it's unfair and it's unjust and it's not right. And she'll look at the rest of the group and say, without going into many details, something terrible happened here, and I think we should proceed with caution, but also with, and she'll gesture to the ghost, great tact, because we may be able to do more good than harm, which is unusual for this group. But
Barnaby's going to step a little closer. You see, if as this creature's moving, if they like tilt, he'll like tilt his head to almost like match. And he'll say, you know, I empathize with you probably more than most here, considering I'm also dead in a way. But I have some unfinished business and I refuse to leave, basically. And I feel like you probably have the same. So what would you like us to do to make your performance the best that it can be so you can get the applause you deserve and close the curtain? And I'm also going to slightly break the game.
Yeah.
As I say that last sentence, it kind of echoes once more, but then it goes into their mind.
Mhm.
Because the message cantrip does not require you to be able to speak. So
I love it.
if they can reply to me via the cantrip, it would just be in mind.
There's a hesitance. You see a pleading, almost asking for consent in the creature's eyes.
You see, like he'll nod, kind of
Okay.
touch his head.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
10.
10. Okay. You hear it, a response. You hear a soft, lilting voice of a woman say, "Are my babies okay? Where is Aaron?" But in the background, that same horrific shriek echoes through your mind. That'll be 4 psychic damage.
You'll kind of see his eyes kind of roll to the back of his head as he definitely feels that, but kind of shakes it off.
You see it's searching for something.
I'm going to say to the others, they're looking for their child, most likely, to make sure they're okay.
I think she had 2 daughters. Only one is in the picture. One must have been torn out.
Apparition glides over to the picture, rubs its hand down the frame, and glides backwards towards you. And as you do, the tablecloth falls to the ground. And you see the outline of a skeletal woman, as does the tablecloth, turns into ash and kind of drifts into the air, leaving behind 2 human eyes, a tongue, and a piece of paper.
Charlotte will pick up the piece of paper.
Okay. It's weathered, but as you unroll it, Charlotte is smart and observant and can tell that it would easily fit the picture frame and what was missing. Do you place it on there?
Oh yeah, 100.
Okay. Jason, you got my back, buddy? Hell yeah. You see a little girl kind of hiding in her father's shadow.
Does the little girl look like Evelyn?
Give me just an intellect or intelligence check.
That's a 15.
Ooh.
Striking similarities. She does appear to be, pre-teens or younger. But the eye color is right, the hair color is right, the complexion is similar.
Hey Mungo, will you do me a favor? Will you go over to the window and see if you can see Evelyn's campfire out there anymore?
I will indeed. I will indeed. So I'll go if there's a window that I can look out in the direction, see if I can see the campfire. If I need to open the door to look in, I'll look to see if that campfire is burning.
You might need a little boost, but I'm sure you could figure it out. Mungo is an adult and he's been in this world a long time. So I would say, yeah, you can wipe away some of the debris and detritus and dust off of the window. Give me a perception check.
Yep. I'm going to cast guidance as I do that. Perception. And that's going to be a 15.
15. You can see the outline of the hill where you all left Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the fire looks smaller than it should.
It's not being fed. It's dying out.
Yes.
I will turn around and say, Charlotte, I think you may be onto something here. The fire out there is dwindling. Evelyn,
do you all think that she did this?
Well,
I mean, if she's a murderer, that makes her far more interesting in my book.
Oh no, I don't think that. I think that perhaps this is there's one of 2 options I think in my head. Option A is Daria, I don't want to pry. But last night, how corporeal would you say your experience was?
Hey, Dungeon Master.
Hey.
How murdery was Evelyn in the sack?
There were some moments of intensity that were delightfully unexpected.
Well, I'd be lying to you, Charlotte, if I said that it wasn't an adventure in and of itself. I certainly think she's capable.
Well, I was more getting at option A. Perhaps we have, she did it, which is plot twist, if you will. But also there's the simple fact that perhaps Evelyn is also a spirit wandering.
Oh no, she definitely wasn't a spirit. I've
All
had sex
right.
with spirits before. It was very different.
I am fascinated, but I'm going to put a pin in that until later.
So what we know is Evelyn told us there were 3 spirits. The picture has been torn, not seemingly by a ghost.
Right.
The memory that your glasses showed us showed the mother being stabbed with the shears.
Right.
So someone killed her. There are 3 dead people, and it's the father, the other daughter, and the mother.
Yeah. Well, I think then if you're right, then we're well on our way, because the scarecrow also had human eyes and a tongue, and so did the mother. So perhaps that was.
So we just have to
father.
kill a child.
Well, perhaps
No,
we don't have
free.
to.
No.
Free.
Child.
Hold on. There's also the other idea, and as he says, he totally takes out the eye and just places it on the table because that's now officially nasty. But he says, or there's a potential that if there were 3 and the 4th got removed, the 4th was the problem. Which means Evelyn. Because if you remember in the little thing that you did, there were 2 that was in view when the mother got stabbed, which hints that the 4th did it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. We're saying,
But we don't have to kill another child. We just have to kill Evelyn.
Oh, now hold on.
Well,
Evelyn would be the problem.
I'm adamantly against killing someone within 24 hours of being with them.
Well,
That's just
luckily-
in
don't
poor
have to
taste.
do it. I can do it. You can just step off to the side. I never get to kill anyone.
Can we get the other half of our money first? The other quarter, I suppose.
Well, good thing you asked for 3/4 up front. I will say,
I'm
well
very
done.
pragmatic that way.
Well done. But I think we now need to be very, very cautious that Evelyn might be here. It is possible that she did send us in here to free the spirits of her family. Maybe there were extenuating circumstances that led to this. We don't know. But I think we need
like a good reason for her to kill her family?
a bad day. Who knows? But maybe we need to find the sister or the daughter, the last remaining ghost. See if we can find that, learn from her, see if we can similarly free her. Maybe not the way we did with the scarecrow, but the way we did here with the mother. And then armed with that information, we might be able to deal with Evelyn in a way that doesn't require us to kill her.
Well, or we kill her and take the house.
Around
Yeah,
that time,
way too spooky. But yes, let's move on.
you hear the sound of something soft dropping behind you, like a stuffed animal or something. You hear it. Who can see in the dark? Okay.
The dead one can't.
Those of you that can see in the dark,
Hmm.
in the dust on the floor, you see 2 large paw prints and 2 small paw prints right in front of each other. And then you hear the sound again. And it sounds like something soft has dropped. And you see those same paw prints up here in the dust. It's almost like something is hopping. And it begins to hop up the stairs.
Let's follow this.
So follow what?
Don't you see the little footprints?
There's a little kitty cat.
Or a bunny. I'm thinking more bunny rabbit myself.
Oh yes, oh,
There's gonna be a he takes like a small little rod stick, whatever you want to call it, and he'll just kind of just whisper and like play his little fingers as a torch ignites, and then he just hands it off to the side where something takes it.
Nice. Love that.
We should exercise caution going up the stairs. Just be careful, everyone. All right.
Indeed.
the stairs are what we should be afraid of, not the ghost or the murderess. Just being clear.
Well, haven't you heard? There's been multiple tales about doors being problems. I'm sure steps will be just as much of a problem.
I'm gonna go to the foot of the stairs and I'm gonna look up with my devilish sight, see if I can see anything at the top, and I'm also gonna listen before I start heading up the stairs.
Okay. I would say with Devil's Sight, doesn't really work like this, but it's gonna for this because this sounds fun.
Yeah.
You see a shadowy apparition of a bunny rabbit at the top of the stairs look back at you and then keep hopping. Give me an investigation check, Mungo.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh.
An 11.
It certainly does seem like those footprints have continued.
Yeah.
Barnaby, did you have something to say?
Nope.
Okay.
Follow me. Follow me. Let's follow the bunny.
Okay. And you proceed up the stairs?
Yes.
Okay. Mungo, I need a dexterity saving throw.
Very well. 15.
15. Your light frame and nimble feet, as you step off about the fourth stair, it collapses in your wake. And you see a recess below. Barnaby has a floating torch nearby, which illuminates, and you see below the stairs bones, swords, shields, armor, piles of them.
Plot twist, Barnaby.
Oh my. Piles of them? Oh dear. I'll point this out, but that this is more than just a family squabble, it seems.
Well, Mungo, you realize the implications, right?
Oh, now I do. Now I see that. It took me a second.
That's all
For
right.
those who don't keep up with these things, what do you mean?
That these are all she's been sending adventurers into this house, and they've all ended up under these stairs. And unless we're careful, we'll be the next pile.
I think she's been feeding adventurers to her family, and I'm willing to bet that we might have been the first people to try and help them.
Right. And not be one of those ogres. I never liked those ogres. Never liked them. Right. Oh dear. Oh, Mungo takes a biscuit out of his pocket and starts nervously nibbling on it.
All right. Well, we don't have much time left. What do we do? Because we need. Frankly, I don't want to leave here without the spirit of a little girl being at rest. Seems terribly unfair to her. But also something must be done about Evelyn. Well, so what can we do quickly and efficiently? Because I have a feeling that no one is coming tomorrow. She just expected us to be dead.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I'm perfectly happy to take care of Evelyn. We have a certain understanding.
Let's carefully go upstairs. I don't know if the bunny is trying to lead us to danger, or if the bunny was trying to lead us to the spirit of the sister. I say we continue upstairs, see if we can find this remaining spirit, and if we put it to rest, that may or then we deal with Evelyn.
No, I think you're right, Mungo. I think it's more about the intentions that you approach them with.
Yeah.
You know, if you come in all rah, they're going to meet that right back at you. But
agreed.
yes, up the stairs.
I've always been a fan of doing as little work as possible to achieve a goal.
As you ascend the stairs, you get to the top of the stairs and you hear that same sound. Do you still have Devil's Sight on, Mungo?
Mm-hmm.
The hops continue to the end of the hallway, leaving little footprints in the dust. And once it gets to the end of the hallway, you see the apparition vanish, and the rest of you hear just the faintest echo of a little squeak.
You see them?
It's disappeared at the end of the hallway. We must be close. Watch that fourth step. It's a doozy, but follow me.
And I moved you to roll 20. Typically it makes Kate be controlled by. No, Kate is
No, I'm
controlled by
good.
Kate now.
Yeah,
I did
you're
good.
Hooray.
To your right, you see an open door. At the end of the hallway, you see a less open door. I don't know if Fog of War is working on this or not. From my perspective, it looks great.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah, it's
looks good
working.
to us too. We can just see that door. All right. So when we get to that open door, I'm gonna carefully look to my right in that
Okay.
through that open door just to see if there's anything in there.
Okay. Yeah, you see a whole ass bedroom.
Oh,
You see like a master bed. You see a writing desk. You see the extension of the fireplace from downstairs. For brevity's sake, you see a journal on a nightstand, and you see like a sewing closet.
I want to check out the journal. Charlotte likes books.
Okay. You open the journal. It appears to be the journal. It's very weathered of a woman. It appears to be maybe who you spoke to downstairs. On the cover, it says Liza Fall. Lizafall. It's very tattered and weather worn, but you can make out some of the excerpts. Do you want to go ahead and read those?
Maybe at the end.
Okay.
But
Great.
I think Charlotte's like, we don't have time for reading right now. Let's try and find this spirit.
Okay, great. Do you want to continue looking in this room?
I'll look at the group.
I think we just keep going. If we know if this is the parents' room, we need to go towards the kids' room.
Yes, I think Bonamy's right.
I
Okay.
agree.
Great. So you walk to the end of the hallway. There's a that's the thing again. There's a door, and I can click. I can watch me do it. It does not appear to be locked. You go ahead and open it up.
I'm gonna knowing what happened on that step, I am gonna check the door, see if I see anything.
Okay. Give me an investigation check with advantage, knowing kind of what's happening here.
Yep. That's an 18.
Good enough. It doesn't appear to have any physical traps upon it.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. You have double sight up.
Yeah, I have devil's. Yes. So it's a permanent condition of mine.
You see a similar aura to the bunny rabbit encircling the doorway.
Oh, encircling the doorway.
Yes.
I will. So there's some ghostly thing surrounding the door. I think we have to be careful how we open this. I will. You know what? I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to cast Mage Hand, and I'm going to have my Mage Hand open the door.
Okay. And with it, you see a smaller bed, weather worn. It looks like there's a leak in the ceiling above it. There's water stains everywhere, but it's a child's room. There appear to be 2 nightstands. There's toys strewn about. There's a carpet in the corner. You notice a conspicuous blood spot and a small armoire.
Before I enter the room, I'm going to carefully look around. Do I see any other apparitions, shapes, forms, anything?
I'm going to continue your previous investigation. You don't currently see any apparitions.
Okay.
But you have a strong feeling about this room.
All right. There's something in here. Let's investigate. So I'll step in. I'll step into the room.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go in too.
I'll go in and start looking like at the armoire.
What do you think, Daria? You going in?
On mute.
Sorry. I think I'll kind of approach the doorway, and knowing what I'm looking for, I'm just gonna kind of glance around the room and see if I see the eyes and the tongue anywhere. And if it isn't anything readily apparent, I'm gonna go back and recheck the parents' room.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Okay.
At disadvantage, you're in the doorway. I'm sorry.
Well, that's a natural 1, so I don't think I'm gonna see much.
You see kind of what your friends see. You see your friends kind of stumbling around in this creepy room.
Yeah, I'm on the lookout for eyes and a tongue, so if I don't see it there, I'll go back and recheck the parents' room.
It's not obvious for sure. Okay, I'll put you over there.
So
Yep.
when I'm in the room and I look around, if I don't see anything, I'm remembering what Barnabas heard from the ghost. I'm gonna say Aaron. I'm gonna speak the name Aaron.
You hear a giggle. It sounds like a child's laugh.
Can I tell where it's coming from? Is it coming from a part of the room?
It's coming from all of the room. In response to the laughter, the door slams behind you.
Would I hear that?
Yeah, it's loud.
I will immediately turn and try and reopen the door.
Give me a strength or athletics.
Neither of those are things I'm great at.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Persuade the door.
Hey, 18.
Oh,
18. It feels like someone is pressing physically. You've resisted against a door that somebody's pressing on. And it feels exactly like that. It feels like somebody's pushing back. But you're able to get through just enough. Are you trying to enter?
If it feels like there's a huge resistance, but I don't hear my friends screaming yet, I'll wait a beat and see what happens next.
Okay. It pushes back.
Barnaby, noticing that, kind of turns back and just looking at the room and says, Aaron, we're not here to hurt you or anything. We're just here to talk. To see if we can help you or anything. That's all.
Those of you that are in the room see this. As blocks. And you hear, play.
Oh, no.
uh-oh. Okay.
You can move the blocks.
Oh, we can.
Oh wait.
Okay, what do we know? We know the name Aaron. We know the name.
For the record, they're not visible on Twitch right now. Just FYI.
That's not good.
Like you can see it, you just can't. There we go.
go.
Okay.
Well done.
Can I, really quick, seeing a puzzle, and Charlotte loves a puzzle, can I flip through the journal and just see if there's any like names or like words that stick out to me that...
Sure, give me an investigation.
All right.
I love that. That's clever.
That's a whole 7.
7. It's hard. I will say this. Do you want to take the time to read it?
Sure.
Okay. I'll give you the first entry. The first entry that you can find, it says, twins. After trying for so long, we've finally been blessed with twin little girls. The labor was so difficult and so painful, but 9 hours later, when I look into their little faces, I know it was worth it. Aaron wants to call the first one Eva because she came in the evening and her hair was dark like mine. And we're calling the little sister Donna because she arrived just after dawn. He's so clever. And her hair is like spun sunlight. It's wonderful. I can't wait to start sewing for them.
Barnaby is like kind of whistling to himself, thinking about the play about the conjoined twins who worked in the carnival. Some kind of show on the side, but doesn't remember the name. But looks at it and goes, oh, and he kind of places them and spells out sisters.
And as you do, you hear play and giggling and laughing and merriment. You notice in the corner of the room 2 porcelain dolls facing the wall.
Mm.
Nah.
The crying continues.
Oh, darling, please, please don't cry. I know that we know that you've been through something terribly awful. But we don't want to hurt you. We don't want to harm you. We just frankly want to make sure that you're okay. And
The
so
dolls
we just want to
turn.
know how to help you.
Oh,
We mean you no harm. We met your mother, Liza, downstairs, and she's all right. She's actually gone from this place. And so I think that if you would like to as well, you could join your mother, and be all right.
As the dolls turn, you see there's 2 dolls. One has a tongue lolling out of its mouth. One has a pair of green eyes. Initially, there's rage in the eyes, and then sadness. They begin to walk toward you, specifically you, Charlotte.
Oh, hello. But like I said, my darlings, and Charlotte will sit down. Like she'll sit down on the ground, like crisscross applesauce, and she'll look at the dolls, like make eye contact, and say, "I know that you have been through something very scary, and something, frankly, that no little girl like you should have ever had to go through. But I don't want to hurt you, and I would certainly hope that you don't want to hurt me or my friends, because frankly, I want to make sure that you get out of here all right, because a little girl as lovely as yourself shouldn't have to live inside a doll anymore. That just seems quite boring."
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
It was a 13. Not amazing.
They walk back to the corner. As they begin to walk, you see their little forms begin to dissipate. The same black ash begins to lift from the little frames. And they begin to stumble as they walk, as they fall apart. And you see a smaller pair of eyes and a smaller tongue left on the floor.
Well, I feel kind of bad now.
You hear a clunk downstairs. The door to this room opens. If you'd like to look around the room, please make an investigation check.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Okay.
But it sounds like if we do the math, people, it means that our Evelyn is the 5th member. I just rolled a 7 for my investigation.
It's okay. Barnaby did a great ass job.
I got a 20.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I forgot to hit the button.
you're so cute.
We do nothing. All right.
Barnaby, you're looking around. You see toys and detritus, and you see cracks in the ceiling. And then you look on the far side of the nightstand, and you find a small pink journal.
I will go over and look at the journal. Go. I promise I'm not taking your secrets. You just want to see what it is.
Inside it says Eva's journal. Do not read on the first page in very childish handwriting, big block letters. And as you flip through, it looks like almost like writing practice or something that you would assign to a child. And then something happens and the writing gets very practiced, extremely practiced, too practiced. What languages do you read, Barnaby?
It all depends. I read a common and abyssal, but if I need to read more, a playwright must know many different languages.
That's fine. You start noticing in this child's handwriting, the occasional character in abyssal. And then you flip the page and you start seeing violent scribbles and frightening imagery. And I think you might be able to see on Twitch a page in the book.
Ooh.
Brown eyes make them. Green eyes tell the green eyes of life. Oh no, no, ma'am. Absolutely not.
The brown
Abs-
eyes make them. Oh,
The green eyes tell us lies. The brown eyes make them die. Did Evelyn have green eyes or brown eyes?
Daria.
Daria,
She had beautiful big brown doe eyes.
Oh,
Sure did.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
I thought. And I look at it and it goes, yeah, either she was a wonderful playwright or Evelyn had some help, maybe, and a devil or something. The green eyes tell us lies. The brown eyes make them die.
So she is a murderer. That
Yeah.
explains a lot.
Well, she might have been a murderer, but I feel like maybe it wasn't like all her. Like maybe there's some sort of like demonic possession situation happening. No offense.
regardless, I think we have to assume the worst and prepare to make our way out of here.
Yes, all right. Yes, and let's be careful because I don't think we've got eyes on Evelyn at all.
Right. Let's carefully make our way out.
okay. As you step out the front door, you see a beautiful harvest moon coming up over the horizon.
Mm.
And as Daria steps out the front door, you all hear it. As a large pair of scissors lodges themselves in Daria's throat. It's hard to talk, Daria.
She'll sort of stumble for a minute and hold the wound. It doesn't do anything to stave the blood loss here.
It's gushing. They are like huge, almost like clipper shears.
The red of Daria's tailcoat begins to sort of deepen as you see this stain begin to spread, and she sort of collapses against the building outside and turns her attention to the direction from which the shears came. And I'm assuming
You see a solitary figure pacing back and forth, almost uncomfortably.
she doesn't say anything, just kind of tries to swallow and fails and rests against the building as the blood flow begins to slow and lessen and stop as her hand falls limp in her lap.
The rest of you hear quiet sobbing in the distance. Followed by
Oh.
as an unbelievably low voice shakes the ground and a perverse laugh.
Barnaby's going to look at Daria, watch her slowly fade. And you see that, again, whimsical, eccentric. None of that's there as he's watching. And as he kneels down to check and see if there's any life left. If there is none,
I'm
He's
going
going-
to say you don't really need to make
Yeah.
the check. It's very clear.
He's going to take one of the cards. That's the queen in the deck. Queen of Hearts, actually. And he'll place it on her. And then immediately turn towards Evelyn as you start to see those cards from them begin to float. What did you do?
You hear in two voices simultaneously. They thought they were better than me. I made her different. I made her stronger. And then back in Evelyn's voice, you did better than most. But now I get to play.
Oh no.
Then allow me to finish my tale. Because there's always one left behind to avenge those lost. And there is a presence that comes over Charlotte as I'm going to release the tale of the Avenger. Because I'm assuming we're about to get into some shenanigans.
Yeah.
For the next minute, which is basically going to be if this initiative starts now. If anything attacks you, like with the melee damage, it will automatically take force damage equal to a roll of my bardic inspiration die.
That's amazing. Love that. I'm going to put Daria's corpse up here by the doorway. Oh,
Rip.
Hey,
hate it. So you see Evelyn kind of pacing back and forth right in front of this beautiful harvest moon, stepping gracefully through the patch of pumpkins, almost undaunted by the overgrown nature of them. You hear disjointed laughing and crying. What do you do?
Can I? This is so dumb. Can I unstopper the health potion that Evelyn gave me and run, like, I don't know if it'd be like an arcana check or like an investigation check, but I want to see if this was actually health potion and not like poison.
Okay. Yeah, give me a probably a medicine check.
Okay.
Are you just trying to sense what it actually is?
Yeah, I did get a 6 though, so
Okay. It looks right, it smells right, but you're not confident.
okay.
Good thought though. Before we just start slugging those down.
Um,
Yeah, but it got fixed. You fixed it though. Oh no. Now
Bear with us, team. We've had technical difficulties as the bad guy killed one of our players.
oh, it's so spooky. Even the players are ghosts. Oh, it's immersive theater. Ooh.
Okay.
no. Well, let's just we'll keep. I mean, we'll keep playing the theater. I mean, it is theater of the mind.
We'll use theater of the mind. We played tabletop
got
stuff.
this.
We know how to do
Yeah.
that.
We got this.
As she walks back and forth across the harvest moon, disjointed laughs and cries and moans, guttural howls emerge from her form. You hear time to play. But she doesn't appear to be doing anything yet. Almost like she's gauging to see how the death of your friend has impacted you.
I'm gonna step forward and I'm gonna speak not to Evelyn, but I'm gonna speak to whatever it is that's inside of her. I'm gonna say, and this and coming from, as someone who made a pact with a with an undying creature myself to gain my powers years ago. I know what it's like to be bound to something more powerful. But I'm going to speak to this creature, whatever it is, and say, be done with this woman. Leave her. Her family has suffered. They are free. Leave her and go. We will not hinder you if you leave, but if you stay, we will destroy you.
Okay. Give me either intimidation or persuasion. Your call.
Intimidation.
Let's go.
17. Because and as I speak, I channel some of that cold undead from my undying patron, and my skin goes pale, my eyes turn black, and my voice deepens and becomes cold.
Would Barnaby have seen him doing this?
Probably.
Would he have provided any kind of guidance or bardic inspiration at this point?
Yes. He kind of focused back on Daria for a second, but hearing Mungo speak, he'll look over. You could tell that in inspiring Mungo, he's actually getting inspired himself, knowing what at least one of the scenes of his new play will be. And as he takes out the book and starts to write, that lettering almost becomes ethereal, goes off of the page and flies over to Mungo. As I'm going to give you bardic inspiration and guidance, so you're gonna roll a d6 and a d4.
Wow. Okay. So that adds 9, so that makes it a 26.
Okay. You see this happen, Barnaby. The moment the spell releases, she reaches behind her back and begins to throw another pair of scissors right at your throat. And something stops as the words take hold. Her frame is lifted into the air, 5-10 feet. She is suspended almost like a rag doll. You hear, "I grow tired of this one anyway." She falls to the ground. She looks up, looks around. She looks confused and lost and terribly frightened.
Do we recognize what type of creature this other thing is?
Give me Arcana or Religion.
All right. That's a 13. I refreshed my
Something-
browser on these dice.
Something fiendish is the vibe you're getting.
Okay.
There was an almost audible severing in those of you that use magic, which is all of you, in the weave, as it seems something has almost released this woman.
Okay.
Well done. Be gone. I'll waddle as quickly as I can over to Evelyn's body.
Okay.
And kneel down next to her and see if she's is she alive? Is she
Looks panicked. She like kind of crawls up and looks in your eyes, and she begins blubbering almost. I think I've done something horrible. I think something bad has happened here. We gotta get out of here.
Yes. You're safe now. You're safe now. Come with me.
Barnaby's going to walk over. Look at Charlotte just to get a vibe of what Charlotte is feeling right now as he's walking.
Charlotte is very torn because part of her wants to go deal with Evelyn and make sure that she's okay. But part of her is also just like, should we try and get a swipe at this monster. And so I think Charlotte will just look at Barnaby and say, "Do we end it, or do we?"
Visually, you don't see anything. You saw the shadow kind of lift and kind of not even fly away, just dissipate.
But we can't see the creature at all right now.
Nope, it had one physical tether, and it was
Okay.
Evelyn.
Barnaby's gonna come over, and when he gets down and he sees Mungo, he's gonna like kneel a little bit and take out his hand, extend his hand to like try to lift her up, so she can grab it if she does.
Yeah, she does. She almost clamors at you. She seems
Right.
just this side of panicked.
And he's gonna like take her and make sure that she's like upright and kind of dust her off. And he'll say, "It's okay. It's okay. We all do things that we regret, and you know, it is what it is. However, we all have choices in the things that we do, and something tells me that you, while were manipulated, you actually had some kind of enjoyment out of this. And the actions that you have done are now our problem, as a dear friend of ours is dead." And that hand immediately goes to her neck as I cast Inflict Wounds at 2nd level.
Excellent. Roll them. I'm gonna say don't roll to hit. Just roll a crit.
A crit?
Yep.
That's all bad. That was horrible. That would be 53 damage if it's a crit.
Yeah, I mean she's basically stunned, so it's like an auto crit.
But as I say, but it's not always about me. I want this to be non-lethal because I saw something. I want to make sure that things can happen. I'll look over at Charlotte.
Barnaby.
I will say
appreciate.
I will say this. She shrieks and collapses. It's hard to say what's happening here.
Barnaby.
What?
She was a child.
She's not a child now.
I know, but she was clearly under that creature's influence, which, speaking of, Mungo, Barnaby, I think this is perhaps where we take leave of each other for now, because I think that Evelyn, well, you two can see her to justice or to town or whatever you like, but there's something much bigger and much more important than her out there terrorizing. And as she's saying this and sort of explaining, you're going to see her skirts start like billowing and shadowing, and it looks like this sort of like smoke that's been like hiding under her dress this whole time kind of starts to envelop her as a whole, as she casts necrotic shroud on herself and disappears into the shadows along with this creature, and you can still hear her because she's still there, and she's going to say, "I'm going to follow the creature because someone has to put a stop to it, and I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. So you two bring Evelyn back or decide what to do, but I'm going to go off to this one. But you kids have fun." Oh, and Barnaby, wonderful show, friend. Wonderful.
As she disappears and he kind of just watches this wisp, he like looks at Mongo, kind of like shakes, like kind of, you're the producer.
All I gotta say is, good thing I held on to the money.
Accurate. And then as sees it on the ground, he goes, "You're right," and my foot just goes to the neck and twist.
Great. I'm going to narrate how we get out of this. As you step down, the crack is audible. You look, near the dead oak tree just to the left of the front door. And you see 3 ghosts, a man, a woman, and a little girl, walk forth and embrace the spirit of Eva Fall as they disappear into the darkness. You make your way back to town. I don't know if you take Eva's corpse with you or if you bury her.
Probably burn it.
They'll probably burn it. With the as you approach, or as you're just out of eye line, the words of the malicious spirit are kind of echoing through your heads. How it was just, this was a plaything. And you remember it saying, "I'm bored of this one," as Eva's body fell to the ground. As you continue walking, you swear you hear, "This one," as Daria's eyes open. And she stands. And that's where we're going to end the session.
No.
Or
Thank you.
not.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
not what happens. And we play for another 10 hours.
Yeah.
We can well, I'll DM you later. Everyone, thank you for joining us. One of the things I love about TTRPGs is the story never goes like you write it. And that turned out really fun. Thank you again. I'd like to kind of give a little ovation to my players, Omega and Paul, and my friend Kate, and the lovely Diana, who had to go. She had a headache, and my good friend Jason, who's making this wonderful stream happen. Thank you so much, all of you. Omega, tell me about yourself. How can we find you, buddy?
Yeah, you can find me everywhere at Critical Bard on all social medias other than Tumblr. Doing lots of things. This upcoming Monday, 2 different things are happening. The premiere of season 5 of Into the Mist, which is Realmsmith Crystal Star campaign, where I play Noggins, a Satyr Druid of Dreams, who we some stuff's going down. Also, you can also catch me on my channel for the last of the Buffy watch parties that I am have been sponsored to do, and we're watching the Buffy musical, and James Marsters is going to join us.
What? Oh, that's awesome.
So, I mean, you might want to be there. So, anywho. That's supposed to be me. Just follow me on all the socials.
Awesome.
Cool. Kate the Great.
Hi everybody. My name's Kate Osborne. I go by CatieOSaurus on all the social medias. I also have a podcast. It's called Katie and Eric's Infinite Quest. We talk about life with ADHD, and also sometimes we play Dungeons and Dragons. It's very fun. I've got a couple of cool projects coming up. Number 1 is on Sunday, this very Sunday, with Kobold Press. They're going to be playing a game where all of the players are mimics. So I'm going to be playing a very small trebuchet named Tim. And that's going to be happening at 1 p.m. on their Twitch channel if you want to check that out. And since CB and Jesse are in the room with me, I'll say that there's still 1 week left of Kobold Press and Wilmsmith's Tales of the Wasted West, which we were all in together, and I'm very, very proud of it. It was very, very good, and that's how I met Jesse, and I'm super happy that we're friends now. So if you wanted to check it out, it's available on their YouTube channel, and it's good, and you should go to my website. It's CatieOSaurus.com. That's it.
Mr. Paul.
I'm Paul Shapiro. I'm one of the founders of Beadle and Grimm's. And go to beadleandgrimms.com and find all kinds of great stuff. Especially check out the Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen Steel Edition. Spelljammer will be shipping in just a couple of weeks. That's going to be great. There's a platinum edition and a silver edition of that still available. We have some amazing dice. You can find them in stores. But thank you all for joining, and huge thanks to Jason as always for running this. And Jesse, to you, thank you. And what are you doing?
What do I do? I'm gonna jump in real quick because I want to remember this, and I have ADHD, so I'll forget if I don't. Diana DiMicco at DiMicco Diana. Great tabletop. She's a storyteller, a DM. She does a lot of World of Darkness stuff, if you like that kind of thing, which is pretty cool. So you should probably like it. And she also makes dice, and she has a company called Bard and Barbarian. I think that's all. And as far as me, I am Jesse Jerdak. You can find me at Jesse Jerdak on all of the socials. I make things. I do 3D modeling for miniatures. I cosplay, and lately I'm a tabletop role-playing game persona. But yeah, find me at Jesse Jerdak on all the socials, and I appreciate y'all's time so much. Paul, any parting words, buddy?
No, just again, thanks to Jason, thanks to Jesse, thanks Catie, Omega. As always, love having you. Love having you guys on. Hope you come back again, do more of these. Everybody who was watching, thank you so much.
They're listening now. Not much to watch.
Oh gosh,
they're listening, right?
Yeah.
But they all stuck around.
Thank you.
And happy Grimtober.
Yes.
Happy Grimtober.
Happy Halloween. And yeah.
Oh, you can buy. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Paul. Yeah. You can buy this adventure on DM's Guild if you liked it. It's pretty fun. I did 3D models for all the characters, and my amazing friend Tam Thrift made beautiful art that you can find it throughout the book and on the minis. And I think that's it. Everybody, I love you.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming out. Sorry for the tech issues towards the end, but yeah, hope you had a good time. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.